We just got to come out and play our best. That's all I can ever ask for the kids. I always tell them just play your best, and everything else will come into place. So if we play our best, I'm happy with the kids.
You obviously, a team, West Washington runs a spread. They have 4 wide receivers. All guys are 6'2". Your defensive backs, of course, again, we've played teams with much taller than us. What do you tell them when facing guys that are bigger than they are, taller-wise?
Well, they just got to play smart. You can't bite up on the run. You got to play your coverage. You got to stay back and make sure you're in the right position and break on the ball. I mean, I don't care how tall they are, how short they are. You still got to be able to jump to the high point and be able to make a play on the ball. If you do that in the right timing, you'll be able to break up a pass or you'll be able to make an interception.
Health-wise, I know Caden Walker missed last week. How's his status?
He's fine. We just rested him last week. He's good to go. He's going to play tonight.
Your team's mentality coming into tonight, obviously a little bit more serious this week. West Washington 11-0. What does their feel this week in practice? Have we been fired up? I know that's a stupid question, but mentality-wise, where are they at?
Well, mental-wise, we are in pretty good shape. I mean, we had another great week of practice, and the kids have been pretty well focused, and at times they've been loose, which is okay. You can't just be all strict the entire time. So they've come out, and they've had a great week of practice, and I think these kids are right. I looked a lot of them in the eyes as they were walking out. They had that good look in their eyes, so I'm pretty pleased the way they are right now.
Coach, I wish hopefully we can talk to you after the contest with a big smile on your face. I got to warn you, you can't get up to the booth the front way. You got to go around. So either way it takes, we'll look for you after the ball game.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
That's Coach Brian Oliver with the Linton Minor football team. We will take a 60-second timeout listening to Minor football on WQTY 93.3 FM, a production of Media 5 Sports.
Dan, there is a little bit of a history between these two teams. They met back in 2012. I think you mentioned earlier that was here at West Washington in the regional, and over the last few years, it's 4 times, I believe. The Miners have been victorious all 4 times, but I know you know a little bit more about those games than I do.
Well, the 2012 game was the AK, Kaiser, and Bradbury years here, and that was a game that really we pretty well dominated that one there. Kaiser had a big run, a nice pass to Bradbury in the end zone, and a 28-0 win there. The 4 years prior to that one was a game that I was at the infamous one where the fumble did or didn't happen. I get them backwards. One of the years, Keith Cunningham, that might have been 2004, now that I think about it. But it came down, it was a 29-22 game one year. Came down to the wire. That was a back-and-forth game. And then I think 2004 was the year that they had a guy return a kickoff for the first play of the game. And then Ethan Brewer, as a sophomore, he returned a kickoff the second half of the game. And I think that one ended up 21-9. I don't have the scores in front of me, but again, that score belittles it. It was still a contest up to the end, and I think we played again back in the 80s. I want to say 85, a 7-0 tie. So West Washington has not had much luck. Talking in the hospitality suite with some of the folks, great hospitality room, by the way. They're really fired up because Linton has been the one that's put them out of there 4 times in a row.
The winner of the contest between North Vermilion for the Miners. If North Vermilion wins, they would host next week. If Lutheran wins that game, the Miners would travel again to Indianapolis. So the Miners, I mean, we're familiar with North Vermilion, and I think we'd like to play the game at home.
But, I think so, too.
You just hope you win in advance. West Washington, either way, they have to travel next week. And could you imagine the trip from here to North Vermilion or to Indianapolis for that matter? What a long trip.
They may have to look at a Saturday affair. But, we're pulling for the Falcons. Of course, we got to win this one. But it'd be nice to be able to play that one at home. And I'm not sure if they're going into the national anthem or not.
I believe they are. Time for the national anthem, so we'll take a break and be back with the rest of the pregame show. This is a Media 5 Sports production.
Razor, Ranger, Sportsman, Ace. Get the gift of horsepower during the
West Washington High School, where the starting lineups for tonight's game are brought to you by Midwest Natural Gas. Midwest Natural Gas reminds you to call 2 working days before digging. So if you're building a new house or simply landscaping around the old one, call 811 2 working days before you dig. It keeps you safe, and it's the law.
Well, we'll take a quick look at the offensive line for the Miners. Ian Fonseca and Dylan Morris are on the left side. That's a junior and a senior. 5'6", 150, 6'3", 235. The center is 275, 6-footer. Junior Briar Pope, the right tackle. Owen Sparks, the junior, 5'8", 215. And Caden Walker, the guard, another junior, 6 foot, 205. That's 4 juniors and a senior. They're going to be going up against a pretty good sized line on the defensive side of things. I shouldn't say the defensive. Let's look at the offensive side. Ethan Watson and Griffin Packwood on the right side. A senior and a sophomore, 6 foot, 260, 5'10", 210. The center is Brady Brown. He's a senior, 6'1", 300 pounds. And we talked about Jackson Byrne and Brady Binskin, 6'4", 289, 6'2", 240. We talked about a little bit the receivers a little bit. Look at them. Derek Leap is 5'9", 160. He's got 47 catches, but a lot of that's the jet sweep. The real threat, they tell me, is Lane Trueblood, a senior, 6'2", 130. He just has 8 catches, but he's been injured most of the season. 2 others out there are Hunter Holiday. He's a 5'11", 165 junior slot back. He has 12 catches, 102 yards. And then Noah Green has 17 catches. He's 6'2", 170. We also got to watch out for Hunter Sanford. He's a junior, wears number 165, 172. All these guys have between 8 and 15 pass receptions. Landon McFeeters is 6'2", 215. He is the main guy, 198 carries, 1,842 yards, 29 touchdowns, 9.3 per carry. Those are minor-like type numbers, but he's also caught 15 passes and 4 touchdowns. Jacob Ferris is the other running back. He carries the ball 57 times for 341, and as we mentioned, Sizemore has carried for 469 yards and thrown for 1,427 yards. The Miners, as we look defensively, and we're watching the fake toss out there, see who gets it.
Yeah, the Miners did win the toss, and they will receive.
Excellent. Avery Gentry, Pierce Jackson, the 2 leading tacklers. Jackson is the leading tackler, 111 tackles. Kent Williams, Chad Trink got a big job tonight. Garrett Mason, Zach Figley at defensive ends. T-Pig, Dylan Morris at tackles. Trey Passon and Mitch Eberhardt, Tyler Muir tonight going to be busy in that defensive backfield.
Well, the kickoff for tonight's game is sponsored by Bobe's Switch City. Kick off your evening with the best pizza, sandwiches, and sides from Bobe's. You're just a phone call away, so call right now, 659-BOBE. That's 659-2623, and Amy will have it ready when you get there. Bobe's Switch City open at 4 p.m. every Wednesday through Sunday. So the Miners will receive wearing their robe white jerseys tonight with red pants, red helmet, red numbers. And West Washington, they're a lot like Linton. They're red and blue as well. They've got red jerseys with some blue striping and stuff on them, blue numbers, silver helmets, I believe.
Yeah.
So
big W on the side, kind of like the Wisconsin Badgers if you've seen them before. And I complimented them in the hospitality suite for having the nice red, white, and blue Linton Miner napkins on the tables. But
the Miners head back to return the kick. Tyler Muir and Mitch Eberhardt will go back deep to return.
Well, I would be absolutely amazed if they would kick the ball deep. And if they don't, you got Kendall Cox and Williams at about the 32. There's a noticeable gap at about the 20 to 30, but the kickoff is by big old Jackson Byrne. He's kind of a straight-ahead kicker. First drive of the game important, Darren.
Here we go. The kick is in the air, end over end, headed towards Eberhardt. Going to be fielded about the 23-yard line on the right side. Met at the 35, breaks a tackle, gets out close to the 40, and the Miners will take over just short of the 40-yard line for their first possession.
Well, right off the bat, we're going to find out the physicalness of that big defensive line. They don't have a big defensive line that they do on the offensive side of things. But the last several weeks, Darren, the Miners offense has just been able to go right down the field and score.
1st and 10, 39-yard line. The Miners have Clothier wide to the right side in their usual set with Muir in the backfield, joined by Garrett Mason. The wings are Eberhardt and Pierce Jackson. And now we have Figley in motion going from the left side to the right side of the formation. In motion's Jackson. Handoff goes to Pierce. He breaks it over the 40-yard line out to the 42. Pickup of about 3 on the first play.
And Watson, 54, gets over there as well as the linebacker, 33, Packwood. And just a minimal gain there. Got out to the 42-yard line, looks like.
Going to bring up 2nd down and 7 for the Miners. Just underway here. Regional championship game. Of course, just a one-game regional after the 3-game sectional. 2 wide receivers come out to the near side this time, Eberhardt and Clothier. Mason stays with Muir in the backfield out of the shotgun. Muir going to keep it himself straight up the middle, gets it out over the 45, stopped at about the 47-yard line. Going to be a couple of yards short of the first down. Looks like they're actually going to mark it at the 46.
Well, the leading tackler, Rippey, the one that gets up there, and just kind of a power handoff a la we saw at North Vermillion. And here's a big 3rd down this early in the contest right off the bat. You hate to go 3 and out. Linton hasn't gone 3 and out in ages. And West Washington would dearly love to make this stop and force the Miners into a punt. And I don't know that the Miners will punt at midfield.
Very true. 3rd down and 3 here. Normal set. Clothier wide to the right. Snap up the middle. It goes to Mason. Cuts a little bit to his right. Gets out over the the midfield stripe and picks up the first down for the Miners.
Nice movement by Mason, just kind of jutting to the right side a little bit. Found the hole. Power football. Looked like to make a good. Number 22 was in there along with Rippey. And a first down, and that's a big first down right off the bat.
Yeah, very big. You would have hated to have to punt that on a 3 and out, your first possession. Instead, the Miners take it into Senator territory here. Back to the normal set. Clothier wide to the right. Muir waits out of the shotgun. Jackson in motion. They hand it off to Pierce going to the right. Cuts it upfield to the 30, to the 25, 20, and he's going to get. Oh, he had a chance there, and he's gone. Pierce Jackson from 49 yards out. You called it quicker than I was willing to. That guy was right there with him, and eventually Pierce able to pull away.
Well, we've been burned a couple times by calling Pierce down. I thought I'd give him the benefit of the doubt, and he just sure will. He found a hole on the right side. A great blocking by the offensive line. Great blocking as well, Darren, by the receivers down the field. Clothier does a good job of that shielding block, and he just turned it on up the field, and exactly what you want to see as a Miner fan.
Well, a lot of the talk on the computer this year this week on the internet was about the big play capabilities of the Miners, and they showed it right there. Pierce turns that upfield, and now Luke Wilson will come on to add a big extra point. They're going to be important. Snap is good. Ball is down. Kick is solid. And Wilson adds the extra point. So with 10:24 left in the first quarter on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, it's Linton 7, West Washington nothing. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is a Media 5 Sports production.
Razor, Ranger, Sportsman, Ace. Get the gift of horsepower during the Polaris Holiday Sales Event. Financing as low as 2.99% and rebates up to $1,500. Ranger XP 900s and Crew 900s come with a free 3-year extended warranty and big cash rebates. Sportsman ATVs come with a free winch. Get these great deals and more during the Polaris Holiday Sales Event.
And back at West Washington High School, where tonight's game is brought to you in part by Baszler's Market in Linton, featuring great weekly grocery specials and a wonderful selection of produce. Baszler's proudly supports the Linton Miners.
Well, you couldn't ask for a better start for the Miners. They gut out a first down on a 3rd down and short, and then beautiful 49-yard run by Pierce Jackson cutting through the line. I don't know that he was touched. He made a couple of tackles early, and now this really puts pressure on West Washington, and I'm seeing already some movement there. They're kind of moving guys around because we're not going to kick deep, and McFeeters is right where I expect the ball to go. We should kick it over here.
About the 20-yard line. McFeeters sits there waiting on the right-hand side, on the far side of the field, as Wilson gets ready to approach the ball. He just took another look down there.
Exactly
Now they switch sides. Yeah. So, that was – so Wilson gets ready to approach the ball here. We'll see if they notice that. Now it's a squib kick over to the far side of the field. Caught it about the 37-yard line. Runner still on his feet, and now not much of a return, but still they'll have it at the 39-yard line.
That's Packwood, Holiday, number 30, 20. It's like you say, it's hard to see him out there, but I think Chance Howard got there, and the ball's at the 40, so I don't know if you win or lose in that situation.
We'll see. The Miners started at 39 and took it down the field. Now West Washington, their first opportunity. They bring a wide receiver to the near side and two to the far, a single back in the backfield with their quarterback in the shotgun. That's Michael Sizemore, runner in motion. They're going to give it up the middle.
Ooh.
And nice yardage out over the 45 to the 46, and I'm sure that was McFeeters.
Yeah, he ran the ball hard, showed some good burst, and boy, there was a nice big hole there, 6 yards. They'll take that. Looked like T-Pig finally dragged him down.
So it'll be 2nd down and 4 at the 46-yard line for West Washington. Their first drive, they look over to the sideline to get the play. No more, running the guy in with it like it used to be back in the day. Almost every team looks to the sideline now. 2 wide receivers far, 1 to the near, single back in the backfield, snap, and once again they'll go to McFeeters straight up the middle, and this time the Miners right there. He might have got a yard out of it.
Not quite as much success there. Your 2 linebackers who you expect to see, Jackson and Gentry, are both in there. And it looked also as if Mason 33, and now here's a big 3rd down situation for them. And I'll tell you what, that guy, 6'2", 215, is a load.
Very much so.
How many yards back do you think he's getting the ball?
Oh, yeah, easily. I mean, he's about 7 or 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage when he takes that. Like you said, and Coach Oliver mentioned it in the pregame interview there, if he gets to running downhill, he picks up yards, and you can see that. Now they go with 4 backs in the backfield. What'd you call that?
They call that a
full pistol or
full house, pistol full house.
There's the snap. They go to McFeeters. He goes to the left side, breaks away. He's at the 40, down to the 35, going to be ran out of bounds at around the 30. A nice run by McFeeters there.
He's getting some room to run. Eberhardt's going to save the touchdown there, and it gets a big 3rd down run to the Miner 32-yard line. It's going to be a load, Darren. That's that full house backfield with leading blockers and a tight end out there.
They do set the ball down at the Miner 32. It'll be 1st and 10. So much like Linton, a big 3rd down play, and West Washington able to come up with what they need to get the 1st down. Wide receivers to each side. They stick with the 4 backs in the backfield, 2 of them to each side of the quarterback, and then McFeeters is back at the 39-yard line, 7 yards deep. Now they're going to look to throw for the first time.
Oh my goodness.
Intended out there for Lane Trueblood. He took a shot as he was trying to catch the ball there, and it's incomplete.
Well, I went, oh my gosh, because Trey Passon, that almost hit him right in the hands, and then he kind of made the hit. It's what you want. You want to make sure 4 realizes he's going to take a hit, but that very well could have been an interception and a huge play early in the contest.
Quickly back to the line of scrimmage. Wide receivers to each side. 4 backs in the backfield, 3 backs with the quarterback. And now there's a snap. They're going to roll out to the left side, give it off to McFeeters. He's at the 30-yard line where he's met by a couple of Miners there, picks up just a couple of yards.
Jackson and Pig, and that sets up a 3rd down situation. 3rd and about half,
3rd and about 8.
Yeah, so decent. But I got a feeling
this is a 4 down territory. A couple of players come into the ball game. 22 Seth Good, and number 5 Noah Green check in.
It looks like they're coming in for that power package right at the 30-yard line.
Going to put a wide receiver to the near side, and 2 out to the far. Single back in the backfield this time. It's McFeeters back there with Sizemore. Waiting for the snap. There it is. Once again, they give it to McFeeters straight up the gut, breaks some tackles, and he may still be short of the 1st down. He's down around the 23-yard line. If it's short, it's going to be close.
Well, they're certainly going to go for it, and they're not giving them the 1st down, but they're lining up real fast right at the 22-yard line.
So it'll be 4th and 1 here, probably less than 1. And they look over to the sideline. A couple of people come back into the game again. Now you think they go to that power package as Tristan Rippey, 5'10", 196, checks in there. Big play for the Miner defense. They urge that crowd on the far side to get in. The bleachers filled in fairly decent over on the far side. So here we go, 4th and short for West Washington. They try to draw the Miners off. Now there's the snap. They give it to McFeeters, and that's going to be close. He probably got it.
Twisted forward. Dylan Morris got him by the shoulders and brought him down, but I'm sure he got just enough for the 1st down.
It is a 1st down. They're going to mark it all the way down near the 20-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 for West Washington here on this initial drive. 7:24 left in the first quarter on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard. The Miners on top 7-0. West Washington moving the football here on their first possession.
6 carries, 39 yards. Pretty much this whole drive has been Landon McFeeters carrying the ball.
He's going to get it. They fake it to him this time. Roll out to the right. Going to fire it towards the end zone and miss the receiver down there. We'll see what it was intended for as he gets up off the ground.
The tight end, Good, number 22.
Had a step on the defender there and just a little bit out in front of him. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Well, I haven't seen Good have any stats at all for receiving the ball. So, when trying something different out of there, and he was open. He just overshot him a little bit. Passing was out there, but
wasn't beaten badly. Just enough room in there. If the quarterback put a good throw out there, it would have been a touchdown.
Had to have been thrown well to be on there. So they've tried 2 passes, and neither one of them have been complete.
Once again, the 2 backs, 1 to each side of the quarterback. McFeeters behind the quarterback, wide receiver to the right side. There's a snap, and they're going to give it to McFeeters to the left side. The Miners meet him quickly, and he might have got a yard out of that. It's going to bring up 3rd down and long here for West Washington.
Well, there was the speed of the sophomore, Chance Howard. He got in there right off the bat. Still managed to get it down to the 19-yard line, and
so 3rd down, and
he falls forward. Have you noticed that too? And I'm almost stuttered right now because in the second quarter, Pioneer is beating Lafayette Central Catholic 7-0.
Hey, there you go. 3rd down and 8 here, we'll call it, for West Washington. Wide receiver to the near, 2 backs. They're going to take it to the left side, hand it off to the McFeeters. A little bit of a delay, and he's going to be nice tackle out there by the Miners, brought down short of the 15.
Boy, Pierce Jackson made a great open field tackle. That's what you expect out of your inside linebacker and your leading tackler.
So they're going to take it down to about the 17-yard line. So now it's going to be 4th down and about 4. Now 4th down and 6, I'm sorry. So 4th and 6.
That's a good game. This is a big play. I mean, obviously they're going to go for it here.
I'm not sure what kind of range their kicker has, but that'd be a little out of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I haven't.
No doubt, you're definitely not going to punt down here, so it's a go-for-it situation. 4th down and 6 from the 17.
We're gearing for that run, but you got to watch number 4 out here.
Snap goes to Sizemore, fakes the handoff, rolls out to the right side, pressure from the Miners, and it's it's complete down inside the 5-yard line. Trying to see who caught that number 4. That's Lane Trueblood. He looked like he overthrew the receiver, but there was another one right behind it. He came back to the football very nicely and caught it inside the 5. And West Washington will have it 1st and goal.
Convert on a 4th down situation. And we had a little bit of pressure on Sizemore. He ran to the right side, and I'm with you. It looked like he was going to go short, and obviously he wasn't, and that puts them in 1st and goal situation in the red zone. And there's been only 14 red zone appearances by opponents this entire year long.
No wide receivers this time. 4 backs, 3 backs on the quarterback. McFeeters straight up the middle, and he drives forward and going to be just short of the touchdown. Going to be stopped at about the 1-yard line here. So 2nd and goal for West Washington here on their first drive. And, another thing we haven't mentioned yet, they're eating a lot of time off that clock and keeping that Miner offense off the field.
Yeah, this is exactly what they want to do. And we're not.
And Miners are going to have 12 men on the field here at the snap. Now we get a whistle, and maybe they took a timeout. But the Miners tried to sub.
Oh, they call it.
Another West Washington.
That's West Washington.
Who took now they're timeout. Let's see. They're going to timeout by the Miners. Had to be the Miners. I mean, they were easily going to have 12 men on the field. It wouldn't have been a huge penalty. Just would have gave them the down overs. All it would have done, because a half a yard to the.
I wonder if he could have just ran out the back of the end zone.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Well, tonight's game brought to you in part by Sullivan Automotive Group, with 7 franchises under one roof. Highway 41 in Sullivan, home of the 6 days a week service department. And also brought to you in part by Linton Family Pharmacy, now offering several kinds of vaccinations. Call to learn more. Linton Pharmacy, a proud Miner supporter. See them at lintonrx.com.
Well, they have used, about 5 minutes, 24 seconds off the clock. And Hill Perry Central did much the same, just couldn't convert on that 4th down. That was a big play there, that 4th and the long pass.
Well, we're back to play here as no wide receivers, a power set for West Washington. 2 backs, 1 to each side of the quarterback, and the main man McFeeters lines up about 3 yards deeper. So he's at about the 7. And they're going to give him the football, and he's stopped quickly, and he's going to score. Touchdown. McFeeters puts it in. 4:54 left here in the first quarter, and West Washington able to answer. McFeeters from 1 yard out makes it 7-6, and now the big extra point for West Washington.
And that'll be number 75, Byrne, and he's a straight-ahead kicker. And these extra points are going to be huge because that was a great drive. 13 plays, 60 yards, 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And they converted a couple of 3rd downs and a big 4th down and 6.
Well, here we go. They line up for the extra point. Byrne, as you mentioned, straight on. And the Miners jump. Oh. Now they get back, though. Snap just a little high. Kick is up. Heads towards the left side, but I believe it's good. So Byrne adds the extra point. And with 4:54 left in the first quarter on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, Linton and West Washington deadlocked at 7. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is a Media 5 Sports Production. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Eugene Martin, Public Accountant in Linton. Gene says, best of luck, Miners. We're backing you as always. Also brought to you by Welch and Cornett Funeral Homes, congratulating the Miners on another great season and says good luck in the tournament.
Well, the Miners scored on a big long play, converting a third down play before that. West Washington was able to just drive the ball down the field. No big plays. I guess there was a 20-yard gain. And the Miners going to have to answer straight up in the air. This is dangerous right here.
Going to be caught at about the 29 by the Miners, and they got some running room coming to the left side.
Corbin
gets it out to the 37-yard line.
Yeah, it must have been Kendall Williams, 22.
Yeah, Kendall Williams, I think, 22-27. So Williams on the return gets it out to the 38-yard line. So the Miners pretty close to where they took over last time.
That was a nice system of doing that. The ball was so high that the pressure was going to be right there on him.
You can actually fair catch a kickoff if you need to.
Probably being told that on the sideline, too.
1st and 10 for the Miners. Their second drive from the 38. Clothier comes to the near side. Muir takes the snap, gives it up the middle to Mason. He's met quickly. And you don't see Garrett Mason get dropped like that very often. You can kind of hear the reaction up here in the press box as he was met right at the line of scrimmage.
Number 54, and I thought I got a couple of programs up here, but I didn't.
54 is Ethan Watson.
Ethan Watson.
Yeah, there's programs. I've got them. So Watson somehow able to pick up a yard on that is Mason, so it'll be 2nd down and 9.
You're right. We have not seen Mason take a backward step before, and this crowd is fired up right now.
Bring it to Eberhardt. Coming to the near side on the sweep, out over the 40 to the 43-yard line.
Can't get a lot. Leap is out there along with Rippey, number 51, and this is going to be a 3rd down situation for the Miners, and long, not really long, about 5 yards, but it's a big play early in this contest.
They're going to spot it at the 44, so it'll be 3rd down and 4 here, and as you mentioned, a big play. Last time the Miners able to succeed. See if they try to draw off the Senators this time around.
Yeah.
2 wide receivers to the right side. Right now, only one of them covered. A quick snap and a throw. Pierce Jackson has all kinds of running room out there if they throw him the football.
Yeah, they must
Coach
be doing
Jennings, I think they're running a West Washington may take a timeout here. Now they got to throw the ball to Pierce, and the Miners jump. The Miners jump. Wow, they were trying to get that play, and I know Coach Jennings saw that on the sideline, tried to get that play in there, and Luke Miller just a little anxious jumps, and that's going to make it a little tougher for the Miners now as they're going to back up to the 30.
Well, the interesting thing, Darren, was we were looking at their safety over there, and their coach over here
was telling him to stay back
there. So I think they were trying to lull us into running a play and getting it picked up. But whatever happened, Miller jumped, and that puts us at 3rd and 9. And we've not been in 3rd and 9s very long this season.
They keep 2 wide receivers to the far side. Eberhardt in motion to the near side. They fake the handoff, roll out Tyler to the right.
Got him. He's
got pressure. Now he's going to tuck it up and run. And he spins, breaks it, gets the 1st down over the 50, down near the 45. Tyler Muir with a typical Tyler Muir type run.
You couldn't have said that better. I mean, I thought he was going to get tacked. He had Jackson wide open. Boy, he took a lot of hits on that sideline. The guy got him low and held him up, and he just got pounded by 5 or 6 guys. And that's where the wonder of Tyler Muir is.
That was pretty impressive. Gets it over to West Washington territory to the 47. He had a defender right on him in the backfield as he was rolling out to the right. He ran by him, made a spin move right around midfield there and got it to the 47. The Miners have it 1st and 10. 2 receivers this time to the near side. Up the middle it goes to Mason.
We're getting beat up front.
And he's going to have a hard time. No, he's still running. Wow, Garrett Mason gets it out to the 42, maybe the 43, picks up 5, and it looked like he was going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage.
I thought he was done. Packwood, 33, the linebacker. There's 2 Packwood brothers. Yeah, you heard me utter it. We're getting beat up front. It looked like he was stopped right at the line. Just good, hard running.
Well, they give him 4, so it'll be 2nd down and 6. 2:43 left in the first quarter, deadlocked at 7 apiece. Miners with their second possession here. In motion is Jackson. They fake it to him. No, they give it to him. Jackson on the right side. I thought they faked it. He's going to take it down near the 30-yard line and pick up another Miner first down.
Just tucks it in behind. Like you say, it's difficult to see if he's got it or not, but he converts. Looks like number 22 Good is out there on the tackle. And
then Miners did a nice job carrying out the fake there as Tyler, looked like he was giving it to Garrett Mason after, Pierce ran by. So they get it down to the 33-yard line, I believe, is where they're going to spot it. So the Miners 1st and 10 again.
Well, you got to carry out fakes. If you don't carry out fakes, then people learn that you're not carrying out the fake, and they go for the first guy.
Clothier with Jackson in motion. They give it to him again. Cuts it upfield down to the 25-yard line. So going to pick up about 8 more on that play.
You like seeing us get some chunk yards out of there as they pile off the bottom. It looks like number 51, Rippey, their leading tackler, gets off the bottom of the pile. But Pierce, last 2 weeks, it's been the Pierce Jackson show. 162 yards last week, down to the 26-yard line. They got it on the board.
So 2nd down and about 2 here for the Miners. Clothier to the near side. Runner in motion is Eberhardt. They give it to him. Head over the sideline. Gets it up the field. First down to the 15 and lowers his head and takes it down to about the 13-yard line. And there'll be another first down for the Miners.
Bryce Farmer coming up from the safety. Took the hit. Got his man down. I wanted him to wait for that blocker to come out. He could have cut up the field. Looked like it was Clothier, and it might have had 6. It is a first down as we're at the minute 51 mark in a tied contest at the 12-yard line.
So 1st and 10 at the 12. 2 wide receivers to the far side. It's Jackson and Clothier. Muir fakes the handoff. No, he gives it to Mason to the right side. He's got a lot of running room and all the way into the end zone, practically untouched.
Yeah, big number 78, Dylan Morris, leading the way. If that guy's not an all-state offensive tackle, Darren,
I'd like to see what one looks like if it's not him, because he is the real deal. And that time, it was a good job by Tyler. He waited till the last possible minute to read the defense and let Garrett have it. And all the way in from 12 yards out, and the Miners back on top 13-7.
Is exactly what we wanted to see. An 8-play, 62-yard, kind of under duress, a 3rd and 9 situation. You got the crowd beating down on you. And now the all-important at this point in the game, extra points are going to be big.
So Wilson on to add it. Snap just a touch high. Kick is up and good.
He could have kicked that thing from the 20. That all sorts of yards. And, hats off to the Miner offense. They're able to come down that field and after this whole place was rocking with West Washington after they scored.
So with 1:35 left in the first quarter on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, it's 14-7 in favor of the Miners. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is a Media 5 Sports Production.
Catholic 7-3. Wow.
That'd be a big upset for sure.
Well, it's an upset now because people didn't think they were even going to.
Wilson's kick going to go to about the 25, a bounce past the offensive player to the 15. He'll pick it up there. Now if we get good coverage, he runs it out to the 20, the 25, and he's buried there. Nice tackle by the Miners special teams.
That was Noah Green, number 6, I believe, and perfectly played that time. You kind of put it down there.
Right here's your tackler. Is that Avery Gentry? Was he on the kickoff team?
Yes.
Yeah, so Avery Gentry makes the tackle at about the 25. 26 is where they're going to mark it. So 1st and 10 West Washington. Their second drive, and we'll see what adjustments the Miner defense make.
It's going to be mano a mano.
2 wide receivers to the near side. As Sizemore looks over the sideline to get the play. Still got 18 seconds left on the play clock. McFeeder's in the backfield.
This is the first
behind
time
the quarterback. One wide receiver to the far side and a guy in the slot on the near side, so 3 to this side. There's a snap. McFeeters takes it straight up the middle again. He's going to be stopped at about the 30-yard line.
Several Miners there. T-Pig, number 62, right there, as well as Dylan Morris. And Miners aren't used to getting run on like that. That was 47 yards that he had on that first drive himself.
And we're not giving up 100 yards to anybody this year. I think we have one back that got like 96.
Yeah, and that was Englehart and Tecumseh, and he got that bulk of that against the JV.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 6 here for West Washington. Under a minute to go in the first quarter. And once again, 3 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. McFeeters behind Sizemore in the backfield. He takes a snap, going to look to throw quickly over the middle of the tight end, and he's hit as soon as he catches the football. Going to be held. I think they're going to give him the first down. A little bit of a generous spot there. Maybe they're going to spot it at the 36.5, and I'm not sure he got that far, but
that's the big 6'5" wide receiver, number 1, lined up at tight end, Sanford.
So they do indeed give him the first down. So with the ball at the 36.5-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 down to about 30 seconds left in the quarter here. As once again, West Washington looks to the sideline. They got 1 wide receiver to the near side this time. They're going to send 1 out to the far. Actually 2 as 1 pulls out into the slot there. McFeeters stays in the backfield with Sizemore. Takes the snap, gets the handoff up the middle, has some running room, gets it out near the 40. Going to be stopped at the 39-yard line. Just a pickup of a couple that time.
Safety support from Muir coming up, making the low hit. The Miners got him down from the upper side, and trying to see what that was, and that might be the last play of the first quarter.
So that's going to do it for the first quarter on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard. It's Linton 14, West Washington 7. Back in 60 seconds. This is a Media 5 Sports production. And back once again at West Washington as the Senators have the football at the 39-yard line, 2nd down and 7. 4 backs, 3 backs on the quarterback in the backfield, wide receiver to each side. There's a snap. McFeeters again, the workhorse, out over the 40 and still driving forward. Looks like he's going to get it out to the, I'm not sure the referee knew which guy that was. I thought he got all the way out to about the 44. They mark it back to 42, so we'll take that.
Must have been a little hit his knee down before he kept going. And now again, a big 3rd down play by the Miners.
3rd down and about 4 here from the 42-yard line. So a big play. And, you know, you'd like to think if the Miners get a stop here, you'd punt from this position.
Yeah. This early, you would think they would punt, but the Miner offense now has been able to move the ball twice. They may be thinking we've got to keep up with them.
So once again, a running back to each side. McFeeters back behind. They're going to roll out to the near side to the left. He's going to cut it back up the field at the 45. Breaks the tackle, gets it out over midfield down to about the 48 of the Miners. Nice run by McFeeters there. And, boy, we've not seen anybody run like this on the Miners.
No, and the Miners he broke Tyler Muir's tackle, and Tyler's helmet came off. And because of that, this is going to be, well, Keaton Cox is coming in. We've not seen him at safety this year. No, he's not.
He's going to put him at corner, so they'll move somebody else
around. Looks like passing is going out there.
So the ball spotted at the Miner 49-yard line, so they move into Miner territory once again here on their 2nd possession. So far, neither team been able to come up with stops yet.
On 3rd down, nobody's been able to stop anybody. We stopped them once, and they converted a 4th down.
So 1 wide receiver to each side. 3 backs join the quarterback. There's a snap. He's going to look to throw. Fires it to the right side, over the middle, tapped up in the air. And they put a good hit on the wide receiver.
Yeah, and I'll tell you exactly
Keaton
what that
Cox
is.
And
Trey Passon.
Trey Passon, yeah.
Tell you exactly what that was. Remember earlier in the game when Ford caught the ball and got hammered? He saw Trey Passon come at him. Passon put another hit on him. Keaton Cox did a good job. I thought that might be on its way to getting picked off.
It definitely got bumped up in the air, but both players put the hit on the receiver that time. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 49, and they've kind of shown a tendency here to throw on first down.
They have. They're trying to go against the grain, something that we haven't seen all year. But
when
really,
when McFeeters is racking up the yards like he is, you can kind of afford to take that chance.
That's exactly right. What you need is a big stop here.
2nd down, 10. No wide receivers this time. There's the snap. They give it to McFeeters up the middle. Cuts it out to the left side. A lot of running room to the 40, to the 35. And down inside the 30. There's the flag for the face mask on the Miners. And that's going to take it all the way down as they spot it on about the 27. That'll take it with the penalty all the way down to about the 12-yard line.
And that is exactly what Ollie was talking about, the cutback vision that he just showed. When you know it's coming. So the face mask penalty, like you say, going to put us down.
So West Washington definitely moving the football the second time. We've seen teams do it the first time. They're
right.
moving it here the second time. And they mark off the penalty against the Miners down to the, looks like just inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. So the run gets him to the 29. The penalty gets him to the 14. And it'll be first down. Wide receiver to the near side. They still look to the sideline for the play. A lot of time on the play clock.
He's already got 86 yards, Darren, and that's something you just haven't seen. He has carried 15 times, but by far the most effective running back. Short of the Jones guy from Speedway had some big runs, but for the most part, we were able to contain him.
Now they take 2 wide receivers to the far side, just 3 backs now. 2 backs join the quarterback in the backfield. There's a snap. They come to the left side. They give it to McFeeters. He's down inside the 10, lowers his head, still powering forward. Going to get it down near the 7-yard line. Just good, hard running by McFeeters.
Well, that's something that, again, we haven't seen, and we're going to have to learn to accept that and make some plays.
Somebody a little gimpy there.
That's
that McFeeters. So he comes out of that tackle limping a little bit. No, it is not. It's 22. Seth Good.
Cox is the guy who got over there to drag him down. But like you say, that was a very minor-like run. Kind of getting more than what he originally had.
2nd down and 3 as he picks up 7 on that play. And they look over to the sideline again for the play. Three backs in the backfield with the quarterback. No wide receivers this time. There's a snap. They give it to McFeeters. Brings it out to the left side. Nice tackle in the backfield that time.
Chance Howard.
May have lost a yard.
The only time he's lost a yard, Darren, has been when Chance Howard beats his man and gets in there and makes a sure tackle.
So they mark it back at the 9, so he may have actually lost a couple. It'll bring up a 3rd down here and about 4 to go.
No question, 2-down territory.
So they once again look over to the sideline. The Miner defense needs 2 big plays here to try to keep them out.
And in a game, the way this game is going, it's who's not going to finally score that gets the other team the opportunity to get 2 scores ahead.
2 backs beside the quarterback. McFeeters behind. There's the snap. They give it to him up the middle. He cuts it this time to the right side. The Miners right there to greet him. He might have got a yard, maybe 2. It'll bring up a 4th down play.
Number 5, Zach Fegley, got his head down, shoulders lower, and flipped him over, falling forward. But now here we go, 4th down and short.
Looks like they spotted it back at about the 7-yard line. So 4th down and a long 2 for West Washington. Big play here. 8:50 to go in the first half. Miners on top 14-7. 2 backs beside the quarterback. McFeeters behind. They try to draw the Miners off to no avail. Now they look back to the sideline for the play.
Can't imagine they don't hand this ball to McFeeters.
Play clock down to 13-11. And there's the snap. They're going to come out to the left side, give it to McFeeters. The Miners are right there. He gets it to the 5, down maybe to the 4-yard line. And boy, oh boy, I'm not sure where they had to get to. They may have to measure this one. I'm trying to look at
right at the 4-yard line. The Senators are all pointing like they got it.
They may have to measure this. Surely they can't just give it to him. Yeah, they're going to stop the clock and bring out the chains here and see what they have. It's going to be awfully close. While they're measuring, we'll let you know that tonight's game is brought to you in part by Kramer's Tree Service in Linton for all your residential and commercial tree needs, plus stump grinding and free estimates. Good luck, Miners, from Kramer's Tree Service. Tonight's game also brought to you in part by McDonald's in Linton, offering all-day breakfast. Stop in before or after the game. McDonald's in Linton open till 1 a.m. They set the chains down.
This is big.
They're going to stretch him out, and I believe he's going to have it. Oh, it's going to be so close, boy, by a chain length at the 4-yard line. Boy, oh, boy. Couldn't have got much closer than that when they set the chains down, and it's going to be 1st and goal at the 4 for the Senators with 8:25 left here in the first half.
Well, it looked like we were going to get him stopped, and he just fell forward, and that was the distance, just where that official put his foot down. And they are at the 4-yard line again, knocking on the door. Another huge long drive. This is 11 plays that started at their own 26-yard line.
No wide receivers, 2 backs beside. McFeeder's behind. They give it to him again. Up the gut, comes out to the left side, and going to be greeted out there by 3 Miners. Might have got a yard out down to about the 3, maybe even the 2. We'll see where they put it down.
Keaton Cox stayed home and made the tackle. Keaton in the ball game now in place of Eberhardt. He bounces out well, Darren. Coaches were talking to me about that in the pregame, that he knows how to read the backside. They got it down at the 2-yard line.
So it'll be 2nd and goal at the 2. And I get a feeling you're going to see him 3 more times if they have to have it.
Can't imagine you're not going to give him the ball. He's got 98 yards. He's carried every play other than the 5 passes that they've thrown.
Pretty amazing what he's been able to do so far. They're going to give it to him again as he cuts up the middle, cuts it to the left side and into the end zone. So McFeeder's from 2 yards out with 7:29 left in the second quarter makes it a 14-13 game. And once again, the extra point going to be crucial here.
Yeah, it is going to be crucial. I mean, they're having to work for it, Darren. It isn't big plays down the field. A couple of conversion plays on 3rd down, a 3rd down and 5, a 3rd down and 4, a 4th down and 3. He is a workhorse. Impressed with him. 21 carries, right at 100 yards. The first kid all year to run for 100 yards on the Miners, and we are halfway through just the second quarter.
They line up for the extra point. Burn on.
He looks a little tired.
Straight on. Makes the kick. It is off the upright and back into the field of play. No good. So the extra point is missed. 14-13. The Miners stay on top. 7:29 left in the first half on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard. The Miners are on top 14-13. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Shea Lynn's Florist and Gift Shop located on 69 North Main, downtown Linton. Shea Lynn's is proud of our Linton Miners and say good luck tonight. Tonight's game also brought to you in part by Elliott Insurance on Main Street in downtown Linton. Proud to be a Linton Miners sponsor. Elliott Insurance says go Miners.
Well, we'll see how in a game like this, that looms large whenever you miss the extra point. But right now, it's a matter of who's going to make the first mistake, Darren. And right now, the offenses are both being able to move the ball. West Washington with back-to-back long drives, 13 plays, 74 yards that time, matches the 13-play, 60-yard of the time before it.
Well, they get ready to kick off back to the Miners again. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Linton Veterinary Hospital and Dr. Whitman, treating all creatures big and small. Dr. Whitman is located next to CVS in Linton and says go Miners. So Byrne gets ready to kick off here. 7:29 left. Muir and Eberhardt, I believe, back deep to return. See where they put the ball this time on their kick. He approaches, and he's going to onside kick to the near side, off with the hands of the Miners, and they fall on it at the 39-yard line. Boy, it went off the hands there of Luke Miller. And that's it was almost a disaster.
Billy Snow, it's Hazelwood, number 73, saves the day. Nice play by Hazelwood. He covered that ball on the run, and it was hit. Boy.
So they're going to mark it at the 40. Jared Hazelwood there with the big play to come up with that after it bounced off the hands of Luke Miller. So the Miners take over their third possession here, 1st and 10 at the 40.
Took a perfect bounce.
Clothier wide to the far side. Now Figley going to go in motion to the left side of the formation. Now in motion is Eberhardt. They're going to give it to him going left. Has a lead blocker. Gets behind him out to the 45. Breaks the tackle out over the 50 and into West Washington territory.
I like that. I like seeing Mitch run with some intensity. That time he put his hand on Caden Walker's back and broke that first tackle. A lot of times Mitch goes down on those first hits. This time he ran right through it.
Yeah, great patience that time. As you mentioned, waited for Walker to pull out in front of him there, got behind him and pulled forward there and gets it into West Washington territory to the 46.
14-yard gain by Mitch, and it looks like he ran with a little bit more intensity. Miners haven't found themselves in this situation since week 1 against Speedway.
Clothier to the near side. Figley comes to the near side. They give it to Eberhardt on the counter. Back to the left to the 40 to the 35. Keeps his balance down inside the 25-yard line. Nice play call by the Miners that time. They sent Jackson in motion, faked the give to him, and sent the counter to Eberhardt back to the left side. And he gets it down to the 24-yard line.
Packwood saves the touchdown. And again, Eberhardt ran through some people that time. Love seeing that kind of running. Maybe that's why defensively we're seeing Keaton Cox out there giving him a little bit of rest.
Clothier to the near side, press coverage on him. Now Jackson in motion. They give it to Pierce this time, coming
Nice
to the
block.
right side. And he's going to get to the 20, inside the 20, still on his feet to the 15. Wow, just slips through tackles a couple of times there and ends up getting it inside the 15 down to the 13-yard line.
Well, we're learning. We're learning not to call him down.
It was much easier to see it when he's on our side of the field, though, how he eluded those, because a lot of times he's doing it on the far side, and boy, oh boy, he just slips through the grasp.
I thought he was down 2 or 3 times, and he very nearly broke that and still was able to get all the way down to the 14.
That's got to be close to a first down. I can't believe they're not measuring that one as well.
That doesn't bother me too bad because this gives you a second down and short. You got a chance here to go for something.
Second one, Clothier's uncovered out there.
Hell.
They hand it off to Mason up the middle. He's going to get the first down near the 10-yard line. Clothier uncovered completely. They brought the corner in.
On a blitz, and that's a couple now that we've missed out there.
So that's going to bring up a 1st and 10 for the Miners. They're going to mark it just short of the 10-yard line so they can get another first down.
Binskin on the tackle, number 70. But, boy, like you say, and again, honestly, look out there.
You know, they got one guy covering 2. Now they're going to send somebody, but they still don't have anybody on. Now they send somebody to the far receiver. This time Muir going to keep it, goes to the left side, takes a pretty good shot, and he's going to go down at about the 10-yard line. Then they kind of piled in on top of him after the fact there a little bit. Not a late hit, but just.
Well,
but you want to make sure he's down. I'm sure they've watched video, and they want to make sure he's down.
Took a good solid hit and just got down. Well, it didn't get anything out of that.
So they mark it at about the 10, second down and 9, 5:34 left in the first half. Miners trying to extend the lead. It's at 1 right now, 14-13. There's the snap. They fake the handoff. They throw to the end zone, and it's up in the air and picked off in the end zone by Wes Washington. He brings it out of the end zone. He might have been better off staying in there. Tackled at about the 3-yard line. The ball got batted up in the air. Clothier tried to come back for it. And the West Washington defender, after it got batted up in the air, was able to beat him to it.
It's number 3, Derek Leap, their leading receiver. And boy, first interception thrown since week 4.
That could be huge. West Washington takes over. 5:16 left here in the first half. They do take over at their own 3, so that's at least one break for us. And he decided to try to bring it out. But the Miners, this is huge because they have to kick off to start the second half. So this series is very big.
Defensively, they have absolutely got to make a stop here.
So far, they've been unable to. That's the first stop for either team, and it's on a turnover. And we talked about how costly those could be. McFeeder's in the backfield, just a single back beside to the left of Sizemore. They're going to turn and give it to McFeeder's to the right side. Breaks tackles, gets it out over the 10 near the 15-yard line. It'll be a first down on the first play, and they get out of that hole quickly.
Right off the bat, a big play, and I don't like what I'm seeing out there. That offensive line is kind of dominating. Cox and Muir had to make the tackle, or he might have been down the distance. First down all the way out to the 15-yard line. You could just feel the momentum. The Miners were poised to go away and try that pass play. Nice play by Derek Leap, tipped it up, and they battled for it, and Leap comes down with it. Oh.
1st and 10 at the 15. Sizemore has the 2 backs plus McFeeder's. They're going to give it to him again, feed the horse, and he's going to get it stopped this time. May have got back to the line of scrimmage.
Good presence that time by Garrett Mason, 33. Also seeing Luke Gerald's number 77 in there at defensive tackle.
That'd be Levi.
Levi.
Yeah. So to the 15, no gain on the play. It'll be second down and 10 here. Big defensive stand needed by the Miners.
In a big, bad way.
They send in, West Washington does, 3 players. Down to 20 on the play clock. Still plenty of time here as they sub. We are seeing Keaton Cox playing for Eberhardt here on defense. Wide receiver to the near side. And now they send McFeeder's out wide to the right. So now they switch things up a little bit. There's the snap, and they're going to give it to somebody else for the first time, and he's going nowhere. So that didn't work out real well for him.
25 Ferris, and he's just a little guy, 5'6", and he was met immediately.
Now, this is the big play for the Miners. He's going to lose back to about the 13-yard line. So 3rd down and 11. Huge play here for the Miner defense to see if they can get the ball back after the turnover.
Well, they're 2 of 5 on third downs, but they're 2 of 2 on fourth downs. And listen how quiet the West Washington sideline is on these.
Boy, it is. They've got signs up here telling their fans to be quiet while we're on offense. They bring 3 wide receivers to the near side, 1 back in the backfield. Now they send McFeeters out wide to the right again, so they're going to keep him wide. I kind of like that myself.
Yeah.
Now they're going to look to throw to him, I'm sure. They just throw it up for him, and that's way over his head, about 5 yards too deep, and that'll surely bring on the punting unit for West Washington, and the Miner defense is up to the challenge there, and they'll get the ball back with still 3 minutes plus left here in the second quarter.
Went for it all that time. He went for number 5, Noah Green, a 6'2 receiver. Trey Patson was right there with him. If that ball even would have been there, it would have been tough to complete it.
So back to punt the football. Muir, of course, back to return for the Miners. And if this punt gets anywhere near him, I'll be shocked.
Yeah. And usually they throw Keaton Cox back there, but it doesn't look like they're going to do it this time.
Trying to see who that is back to punt. Really hard to see the numbers. Number 2, Michael Sizemore, the quarterback, so he's the punter. But I can't imagine any trickery here.
Not here.
There's the kick. That's a bad kick right over to the near sideline. Going to go out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. So the Miners are going to have great field position here as they'll take over 1st and 10 at about the 34-yard line of West Washington.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Gene Hall and Gordon Wright at Farm Bureau Insurance. Call your friends at Farm Bureau Insurance. Becky, Erica, Gene, or Gordon. Go Miners from Farm Bureau Insurance, serving the Linton area for over 40 years.
The last score we heard was 7-0 Lutheran over North Vermillion, and that's another game a lot of people just give it a fact that they think North Vermillion is going to win that game.
Clothier to the far side. Miners in their usual set. They bring Jackson in motion. Give it to him coming to the right side. He's going to be ran out of bounds. I don't know if he even got a yard on that.
Not a whole lot. Benskin, number 70, and 6, Isaiah Snyder.
So now the West Washington defense, they've got their backs up against the wall again. They survived a minute ago as Jackson ends up getting a yard on that, make it 2nd down and 9.
Jackson himself off to a good start, 6 carries, 78 yards.
Clothier stays wide to the left side. In motion is Eberhardt. They give it to him going to the left side. Has some blockers. They're going to stop him for a loss at about the 35-yard line. So a 2-yard loss going to bring up 3rd and 11. This West Washington team, I think a lot of people thought we were going to come down here and do to them what we've been doing to teams the last few weeks.
Exactly.
They actually mark out on the 36. That's a poor spot. But
you do not get 11-0 by just being average. These guys, and they're making adaptations. We were getting yards on that. Now we're not.
Yep, they've made adjustments just like we make adjustments on defense. Now Clothier comes to the near side, and this West Washington crowd is loud. They got the milkshakers out, the jugs.
Kendall Williams is out there as well.
They're going to look to throw this time. They're holding on the near side. They throw the quick screen. Open is Figley. Now they're going to throw the flag. Figley breaks a tackle, gets it down to the 10.
How does the flag come out after he's down?
I have no idea. They're going to call out on the Miners, but they were holding out here on Clothier on the near side.
Ineligible receivers, what they're going to call. And I didn't see anybody there but number 5. Boy, that ball flag did not come out till... I don't know about that.
Ineligible man downfield on the Miners is the call, and boy, oh boy.
That's poor. I mean, if he's ineligible, the flag should come out when he's there. He's like he waits until, I didn't see anybody out there. Did you see anybody out there?
I really didn't. I mean, that's unfortunate. Nice catch and run by Figley that time. He doesn't he hadn't had a lot of catches, and boy, did a nice job running after the catch there. Instead of a 1st down inside the 15. It's going to go back to the 41. It'll be a 3rd and long now for the Miners.
3rd and 18, and we may, if we don't get this,
I bet we try to draw them off before we run the play here and see if we can get 5 of it back that way, because it is 3rd and long. In motion is Williams. He fakes it to him. You're going to keep it, breaks a tackle, gets it inside the 40.
Can't get away.
To about the 39. I'm not sure I don't punt here, Dan.
I think you do. I think you play field position. That's exactly what we're going to do. That play's been successful all year, but this time 54, Ethan Watson is going to make the tackle.
Yeah, with 2 minutes on the clock, if you pin them down there, their drives have taken a long time. I think you punt the ball here, and clock is running with 1:49 as Kendall Williams does indeed come on to punt. West Washington puts nobody back. Williams, I think, averages about 32, 33 yards, so that should pin them back inside the 10.
He's been very good at this, and we've only had to punt the ball 11 times.
Good snap, punts away, and he got too good a punt that time. It takes a good bounce inside the 10, and pretty much right about where I expected it to be. I thought at first, though, it was a low-line drive, and I thought he got too much of it.
I did, too.
So they're going to mark it at the 8-yard line where West Washington will take over with 1:28 left here in the first half. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Goodman Heating and Cooling. Monty Goodman, your local Rheem dealer. Call Monty at Goodman Heating for a free estimate. Also brought to you in part by Tangle Styling Salon, Highway 54 in Linton. Trendy, modern, up-to-date styles for the entire family. See Linda Goodman at Tangles. Go Miners.
Well, I tell you what, Indianapolis Lutheran is ahead 21-6 over North Vermillion, so the Falcons are in a little bit of trouble as well.
McFeeters takes the handoff, breaks a tackle, gets it out over the 15 near the 20-yard line, close to another first down. We'll see where they spot him. They have the clock stopped. Looks like they're going to put him at about the 18-yard line.
Oh, he's getting an awful lot of yards, and we're getting the defensive backs passing and Cox having to make that tackle. First down.
So 1st and 10, the clock stopped right now at 1:21 until they get the chains set. Then they'll wind it and go. Trying to remember if West Washington has used timeouts.
The Miners, I know, have. Oh, they got to feel good about themselves. 124 yards in the first half.
They're letting that clock run down. I'm kind of surprised here.
I mean, too.
But their drives have been sustained and long. They trail by a point right now. Both teams have had to punt once. We've had a turnover. McFeeters in the backfield. 2 other backs join Sizemore. They're going to give it to McFeeters again. Breaks a tackle. Gets it out over the 20 to about the 22 or 23. Under a minute to go.
Well, that time Avery Gentry was able to get in there after another Miner had slowed him down a little bit. And that's what it is. When you get him, you've got to wrap him up and bring him down.
So they're going to spot it actually at the 21. So 2nd down and 7 here. And I think West Washington is just content to make it 14-13 here at the half. I'm a little surprised.
They're going to go. They're going to try a deep one here. There's no way they're not. Well, they're not.
They don't have any wide receivers out there. Of course, McFeeters could break it at any time. I mean,
yeah, but you would think with 4 wides they would go for some off the deep pass deal.
There's the snap. They do give it to McFeeters. Looks for room. Finds nowhere to go. They stop him at the 21, and that may be the last play of the half.
Again, Gentry, and this time Mason helps him out and kind of stop. Play kind of stops at the end of the half, kind of dull after that. I'm surprised they didn't go for that.
I really am too. So at halftime on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, it's the Linton Miners 14, the West Washington Senators 13. We'll be back in 2 minutes with the halftime show. You're listening to Linton Miner football on WQTY 93.3 and WQTYradio.com, produced by Media 5 Sports.
Sportsman Ace. Get the gift of horsepower during the Polaris Holiday Sales Event. Take home the 144 horsepower Razor XP Turbo and get a free 1-year powertrain warranty. And check out the ultimate single-seater, the 60 horsepower Ace 900. Financing as low as 2.99% and rebates up to $1,500. Going on now.
Welcome back to Art Sanders Field here at West Washington High School. Darren Clayton, Dan Phillips bringing you the action. Linton Miner football, and at the half, the Miners on top 14-13. The halftime show tonight brought to you in part by Midwest Satellite. If you're looking to reduce your TV bill, call Mike Moore at Midwest Satellite for Dish Network and packages starting at just $19.99 a month. plus free installation, free movie channels, and a free Hopper HD whole home DVR system. Mike will even pay $50 on your first bill. That's Mike Moore at Midwest Satellite in Linton. Also brought to you in part by Hale Automotive, your automotive repair experts in Linton. From routine jobs to major problems and repairs, Hale Automotive will get the job done right and at a price that'll fit your budget. Hale Automotive, 169 Southeast 6th Street in Linton. Well, Dan, I mean, this has been what you'd expect of a regional game. I mean, it's 14-13, and you know, the offenses shine, and then the defenses turn around and shine, and here we are.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You couldn't get much more even. The Miners actually with 128 yards to West Washington's. Ooh, I'm sorry, that was the first quarter. Second quarter, Linton actually has more yardage. And that should be because we did drive the length of the field. It looks like we have 177 to their 144, so it's a pretty tight we haven't seen this pressure on our defense in a while, and there's going to be a lot of talking on that halftime about what to do about Mr. McFeeters.
Absolutely. I mean, he's just ran roughshod over the Miners' defense, and we just haven't seen that in not just this year, but we've not seen that for a while against the Miner defense.
Well, and he has 26 carries in the first half. It's all him. If you're looking at my spreadsheet, you're seeing zeros everywhere. One carry from Ferris. He has passed the ball for 6 times, converted on a 4th down. It was a big play. Right now, the play is that pass to Clothier in the end zone that number 3, Leap, came up and kind of got a hold of, went up in the air. He won the battle. Probably was a mistake trying to take that out because that put him at the 3-yard line. But they're going to get the ball right off the bat this second half, and that's going to be key. Only difference in this game is a one extra point that hit the left upright.
That first drive will be huge here to start the second half. The Miners, I don't know when the last time they trailed had to be the North Vermilion game because I don't think Speedway ever got ahead of us. Wow.
I don't think, we were tied at Eastern. That's about the only time it is. And this is going to be one of those nights across the state in 1A because Pioneer, a lot of people already handed the trophy to Lafayette Central Catholic, and that's at the half, and that's a 7-3 game, and you got to love it. Even if Pioneer loses that game, they've already won because of the way they played that one. And then Lutheran, another team people just didn't expect to be in that contest. I had 21-7 over North Vermilion at the half, and the other game, Northfield, is on top of Adams Central. And I got to say again, Adams Central heavily favored in that one, so the trend's got to get bucked at some point.
Yeah, you would think so. Let's take a look at the scoring in the first half. The Miners get on the board first. 10:24 left in the first quarter. Pierce Jackson, a 49-yard run. Luke Wilson adds the extra point. The Miners go on top 7-0. West Washington, their first possession, they march it right down the field, but they score with 4:54 left in the first quarter. McFeeters from 1 yard out. Byrne adds the extra point, 7-7. And then the Miners get one more touchdown in the first quarter. Garrett Mason on a 12-yard run, 1:35 remaining. Wilson again adds the extra point that right now is the difference in the ball game. 14-7 at that point. And with 7:29 left in the second quarter, McFeeters takes it in again from 2 yards out. This time the extra point no good by West Washington. And the Miners on top, 14-13 here at the half.
And the thing that, is not in that is that we did drive the length of the field there from our own 40 after they scored and had 2 big runs from Eberhardt, 14 and 22 yards, to get down in the red zone again, down at the 11-yard line, 1st and 10. And we do not get in on an interception, and that was a big play, and it pinned them down. It kept them from being down there. But Shane Huffman, it's his first game probably down there with extreme cold. And Shane, of course, it's been a pretty intense first half. The Miner defense severely tested by McFeeters. Can you give me a grasp of what's going on the sideline with the way he's running the ball?
Yeah, he's running the ball real well. We've got him down for 26 carries already, so working pretty hard in that first half. I'm kind of wondering whether that's going to play a part in the second half with that many carries right off the bat.
Well, the thing about it is he's been the workhorse for them all season long. As I try to catch up to you, and by far he's their leading rusher in terms of yards, but he has 198 carries. Comparison-wise, the Miner guys have an 85 to 90, so he's in it's pretty much the workhorse. You do got to wonder if we can get to him and start making some hits. But gosh, he looks strong down there. But the Miner offense really has been able to move the ball. Just the pass in the end zone got picked off. It was a up in the air kind of play. How are you reading the offense of the Miners right now?
Yeah, they're moving the ball extremely well. The plays on the side where we shift the tight end over and we hit to that side with Figley, that we're doing a real good job of getting around that corner and getting some big plays there. we had the one interception there in the end zone. Luckily, didn't cost us. So, look to see in that second half a lot of the same thing on offense. But hopefully, we'll see some adjustments, and McFeeder's kid will wear down a little bit, and we can, like you said, get some big hits on him.
Trouble for us is not the offensive side of the ball. We've been able to move the ball at will. You hate an interception, and it really wasn't just a blatant interception. It was a fought for a ball, but defensively is where we. It's going to be a stern test. Numbers-wise, looks like the four-headed monster is being pretty successful.
Yeah, I've got us for right at 171 yards rushing, I believe. Yeah, 171 yards rushing, and then the one interception there on the pass. But we're doing real well on the ground with the ball. So hopefully we can come out and continue with that. And I noticed on the defense they made a couple of adjustments there. They started to put more guys in the box. They started to bring a little bit more meat on the line.
Yeah, I saw Gerald's in there.
Yeah, you could see Levi came in and clogged up the middle a little bit. And if you're looking at McFeeder's carries on a trend, they do seem to be trending down.
Yeah.
So that's hopefully the same thing in the second half, that they continue to go that direction.
Well, I can only imagine the intensity on the sideline. A lot of Linton folks, a lot of Linton people thought that the Miners would come down here and do what we've done all year. I knew West Washington was a good quality squad. This will be a big test for us the second half. We haven't been in this type of situation since the North Vermilion test.
Yeah, and in that North Vermilion game, we came out in the second half and played our game, made some adjustments, and put the game away. So let's hope for a lot of the same things in the second half with West Washington here.
Well, I appreciate you coming up injury-wise. Looks like everybody's all right. I know we see Keaton Cox playing a lot at cornerback. Is this just an effort to keep Mitch more rested on the offense?
Yeah, I think so. They were hollering for Keaton to get in there a couple of times, and I saw him come in for Tyler once, and
Tyler's helmet came off.
Yeah, Tyler's helmet came off there. So, yeah, it's hopefully just trying to keep the guys fresh, and we'll see that in the second half.
All right,
we'll come
Shane.
out there.
Well, you keep yourself warm, and the temperature's only going to drop lower, and then we appreciate you coming up. And I imagine, Darren, we're probably going to take 2-minute timeout. Is that about right?
Oh, we might do that, but appreciate Shane making his way over here.
Thank you, sir.
Tough road to get over here tonight. You got to come out around the fences and everything else to make your way back here to visit with us.
Well,
hopefully Coach Oliver can find his way back here after the game.
It's sneaky, too, because you got to go right by those pork burger stands over there. I'm surprised you didn't get sidetracked.
There you go. Well, we will go ahead and take another 2-minute break, come back with more of the halftime show. You're listening to Linton Miner Football on QD 93.3, produced by Media 5 Sports. again at West Washington High School. Darren Clayton, Dan Phillips, halftime on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard. And the Miners are on top 14-13 thanks to 2 Luke Wilson extra points and a missed extra point by West Washington, basically the difference in this ball game. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Southside Express in Linton. Southside Express has everything you need when you're in a hurry and is locally owned and operated. Also brought to you in part by Anderson Poindexter Funeral Homes in Linton and Duggar, and the new Ming Family Funeral Home opening soon on Highway 58 in Odin, serving you with funeral pre-planning and at-need service since 1930. Anderson Poindexter Funeral Home, a name you've learned to trust.
Well, I just got sent an email that tells me that Lutheran and North Vermillion are now tied 21-all. So the Falcons have made a couple of big plays and gotten back into that contest. And we were also informed, thanks to Tom Dawson, that Speedway was indeed ahead of the Miners 19-14 at the half in that contest. And I remember that one was a game that the second half the Miners came out and wore down the Speedway team. And of course, we were down at North Vermillion for early at halftime, 7-0 as well. But this is going to be a heavy contest. The second half coming out the first of the, it's going to be big. The Miners do have 177 yards of offense rushing the ball. No passing, and you kind of would like to see a little bit of passing. 4 carries, 21 yards for Muir. 6 carries, 78 yards for Pierce Jackson. He had a 49-yarder. 5 for 52 for Eberhardt. 5 for 26 for Mason. So we're still at 8.9 per carry. So that's a pretty good job by the Miner offense. That's not where our concerns are right now. West Washington got 27 carries, 125 yards as a team. 26 of that for 125 is McFeeters. 4.8 per carry, 2 touchdowns. 2 of 6 is Sizemore passing, 19 yards. Not a lot of damage there, but that 113-yarder to Trueblood gave him a first down at the 2, and then the other one was to Sanford for 6 yards earlier in. So they've got 144 yards. Not a horrendously large number. It's just they're eating the clock up as well. 2 13-play drives.
Yeah, so the only pass we threw was the one that got picked off in the end zone. So, I mean, you know, like you said, we had a couple of times where receivers appeared to be uncovered. You talked about maybe they're trying to lull you in there, that if you throw that corner breaks on it and picks it off, and if he does, that'll be a pick 6. So, I mean, maybe it is something they're trying to do. But
well, and the one you saw down here in the red zone, I just think there was a mess up. But the kid came, and there wasn't anybody out there. But I don't, you know, we got the first down out of that play, but well, you hate that you get down in the red zone and you have an interception, and like I say, that was just a good play. We've scored on that play a lot. Good play by Derek Leap on knocking that ball up in the air and making the catch.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Grumman's on 7th Street in Vincennes. Work shoes and boots from people who know shoes and boots. Grumman's, custom footwear since 1929, and where they still offer shoe and boot repair. Both teams have made their way back out on the field. They'll run the clock down to 0 here and then put another 3 minutes up there for the teams to get their stretching in before the start of the second half. Second half will be brought to you in part by Lions Health and Living Center, offering a high-skilled professional staff available 24 hours a day in a comfortable, compassionate environment. Contact Melinda Barnhill for a personal tour, 659-1440. Lions Health and Living Center, a 5-star community. We are worth the drive. Well, Dan, all around there are close games going on everywhere, and that's what you expect, you know, when you get down to the final 8 teams. And
it's like they're grooming a horse down there. It looks like they got, I'm just going to guess that's McFeeters. Got the shoes off, getting all of the mud out of the cleats and retaping the shoes on there. And he's been the most intense back we've seen this season. So it's physically, he doesn't go down early, and then he just runs the ball hard, and he's made 2 nice cutbacks for big gainers.
Well, one thing about it, I know Shane's stat sheet doesn't have enough room for 26 carries on it, but at least for him, nobody else has carried the football other than Ferris one time. So we'll see, you know, do they come out in the second half now with a completely different philosophy after the Miners, you know, they figure the Miners make adjustments. It'll be interesting to see how they approach things, and it's worked. I mean, but obviously Coach Jennings, Mark Jennings, the defensive coordinator, going to make some adjustments to try to get him slowed down. And
well, what we heard there and what we saw was that Gerald's came in at defensive tackle, and that's 280 pounds, and while I don't think he's not got the speed, he's got the girth inside of there to kind of block up that hole, and maybe that's the approach. Now, it is a chess match with coaches. You as a basketball coach know it's all a game that you're trying to. So, yeah, I think that they're going to eventually try to go where they hit out in the flats, and when our linebackers are gaming on that inside one, we've got to be leery of that. You know, the kids, I'm sure, are thinking that, but, boy, when you're out there in the heat of battle,
trying to stay disciplined, absolutely. I mean, you want to make that big play and get him stopped and be the one that helps get things going. And by doing that, you could actually get yourself out of position.
Exactly.
And he's definitely capable of of big plays and anything else, just as much as anybody we've seen this year.
Yeah.
He's definitely a handful for the Miners.
And as Coach Bowsman said in his interview, it is, oh gosh, I never remember the word. When you see the play going the other way and it looks like you have to stay where you are, because if 9 times out of 10 it goes that way, that 10th time it doesn't and you're out of position, that's what results in a huge play. And both teams have got to do that, and it's tough. It's tough to do that. You see guys jumping on a guy that's ready to make a hit, and you got to stay back. Kendall Williams did make a hit last week at North Central.
Yeah,
that was
perfect example. Yeah,
he stayed back. He was over there by himself, and well, they kept the fans in the game, that's for sure. And
very much so. They were very much fired up as they went to halftime,
Yeah.
despite being down 14-13. There was a lot of excitement on this. The players and the coaching staff and all were excited, as well as the people in the stands. So we'll see what kind of reaction we get here. And just, I'll tell you what, if you don't have butterflies right now, you won't get them. I mean, even sitting up here, I used to tell the kids, if you're not a little nervous with little butterflies, you don't care enough. So,
now
that's a type of butterfly. I tell them that you'll never experience anywhere else. It's not a bad thing that you have that feeling, because that just shows that you care.
It's what you make, and it's how you take that and use that to your advantage. Do you back down and fall away, or do you rise up to it? And that's what separates the men from the boys in high school football. In anything in life is how you respond to a little bit of adversity. And while we're still ahead 14-13, it's a position the Miners haven't been in a while, and we got to kick the ball off to them. And if they go right down the field, Darren, like they did the first 2 drives and stuff that ball in, this place is going to be going crazy.
Very much so. Getting ready here for the second half, brought to you in part by Midwest Satellite. If you're looking to reduce your TV bill, call Mike Moore at Midwest Satellite in Linton to sign up for Dish Network. Packages start as low as $19.99 a month, and that includes free installation, free movie channels, and a free Hopper HD whole home DVR system. Mike will even pay $50 on your first bill. So don't call those out-of-state numbers. Call Mike Moore at Midwest Satellite, 847-8848. The Miners get ready to kick off. They'll go left to right in the second half. Wilson has the ball, ready to tee it up at the 40-yard line. Tonight's game also brought to you in part by Asphalt Doctor in Bloomfield. For all your paving, seal coating, striping, and repairs, call the Asphalt Doctor for a free estimate, 327-4446. Back deep to return. McFeeters is on the near side. They send number 5. That's Noah Green to the far side. And last time, right before we kicked, they flip-flopped.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the Miners do as he approaches the ball, and we get ready to start the second half. This time the kick is on the ground, bounces up, and is fielded at about the 30-yard line.
Oh, no.
Runner coming to the near side. Doesn't look like he wants to run it very bad. Gets it out over the 35 to the 36. We'll see who it is as he hops up here. It's number 8. That'll be Bryce Farmer, a 5'10 junior, and he gets it out over the 35 to the 36, and that's where the Senators will take over.
And Cody Corbin was right there to make the stop, so that worked pretty effectively. Still the ball at the 36-yard line, and here we go. Here's what you see, what the coaches talked about at halftime and how they make some adjustments.
2 wide receivers, 1 to each side. 2 backs, 1 to each side of the quarterback, with McFeeters behind him at about the 29-yard line. So he lines up about 7 yards deep. There's the snap. They give it right back to him again. He's straight up. Oh, he kept it. He faked it to him. Has some running room. Fool me. I thought they gave it to him. It was a fake, and he gets it out to the 48, and there's that first adjustment.
Right there it is, and that's the running quarterback. Sizemore keeps it.
12-yard pickup out to the 48, and boy, I just assumed he gave it to him, and you should never assume. The Miners bid on it too, and a lot of running room as Sizemore picks up out to the 48.
12-yard gain, and Cox again and Muir have to combine to make that tackle. Boy, and I had the field glasses on 24 too. I thought, we made the hit at the line.
So here we go, wide receivers to each side. Once again, backs to each side of the quarterback. McFeeters behind at the 39, or the 41 rather. There's the snap, and this time they do give it to him. Miners right there to greet him in the backfield, put him down at the 46-yard line, so a loss of 2 on the play.
Josh Figley, the defensive end Singer on the left side, gets in there and makes the tackle. The Miner players looking at the Miner sideline, trying to get the fans fired up, and I can hear them.
Yep, trying to get that crowd into this. And, over here, the signs say, be quiet when we're on offense and be loud. And they're doing exactly that. It is dead silent right now. The cheerleaders aren't even hardly doing anything. And then when we get the football, it gets pretty crazy over here.
Well, that's one of the few, might be the first time I have McFeeters. Well, they've been stopped for a couple of times.
Just a couple of times backwards. Second down and 13. They mark it close to the 45-yard line. There's the snap. They're going to give it to him up the middle. And once again, the Miners there. He's able to move forward, get back maybe a yard past the original line of scrimmage. Looks like maybe they're going to mark it right at the original line of scrimmage. So back to the 48-yard line to pick up a 2, and it's going to bring up a big 3rd and 10.
Big third down. That was Avery Gentry that was able to get up there and make the tackle. And we really have not called Pierce Jackson name a whole lot defensively, so they're doing a pretty good job on the Miners' leading tackler. This is a huge play.
Oh, very big play here. See what they call up here. The play clock down to 15 as they look to the sideline, and they may actually end up taking a timeout here. It's down to 10. Now they're going to line up finally.
Just one receiver.
Behind the quarterback, one wide receiver to the far side. They take the snap. They're going to come to the near side. They're going to look to pass. A lot of pressure. They throw it up to the out of bounds. It's caught, but he's out of bounds.
Leap.
So it'll be 4th and 10. It was out there to Derek Leap. He had the interception earlier, I believe, and now it's going to be a 4th down and 10 here.
Oh, look at him. That doesn't look
I don't think they're looking to punt. I can't believe they wouldn't here at the 48 early on, just down a point. Now they're going to back up. Good pressure up the middle by the Miners that time. Who was that got in there?
I believe it was Chance Howard, number 52. That's why he's there. Now, let's keep in mind here, Sizemore is the guy who kicks this ball, punts it. And they have a setup that you could pass out of that.
Absolutely. They got a slot receiver and a wide receiver to the near side, another receiver to the far side. 2 guys back to protect Sizemore, and he is indeed going to punt it. Miners had some pressure on him. Muir going to let it bounce, and it's going to bounce out of bounds at about the 18-yard line. So that's where the Miners will take over for their first possession of the second half with 9:47 left on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard. Miners on top, 14-13. Tonight's game brought to you in part by the Greene County Daily World, wishing all area sports teams good luck. Watch your Tuesday paper for the weekly Athlete of the Week announcement. Call Lisa and ask about their current subscription specials.
Boy, a lot of pressure there from Dylan Morris. He almost got there.
So 1st and 10 at the 18, and now a big possession for the Miner offense here. You want to use some clock, move down here and put some points on the board. They give it up the middle to Mason, and he's going to maybe pick up 2 or 3 yards, might have got to the 20-yard line. He's taken some pretty good licks up the middle.
Number 23, I think 33, Packwood makes that tackle. You're right. They say 51 Rippey on the announcer's booth, but they're doing a good job on that inside.
So 2nd down and 8 at the 20-yard line. Clothier to the far side. Mason joins Muir in the backfield. The 2 wings, Jackson and Eberhardt. There's the snap. And they're going to fake it to Mason. Muir going to keep it. Comes to the near side to the 30, out over the 35, still on his feet. Spins and takes a pretty good shot there, but he gets the first down and gets out to the 37.
Good gosh, does he take some hits. I mean, he runs the ball hard and he twists and turns, but made a nice cut on the inside behind one of the Miner blockers. And Jeff Graham gave him a lot of trouble from Eastern in that type of situation. A big play by the Miners.
So they're going to mark it at the 36-yard line, 1st and 10. Just a fake handoff to Mason. Tyler spins out of there to the right side and finds some running room. Now they bring Clothier to the near side. In motion is Eberhardt. They give it up the middle to Mason. He's got running room out over the 50. Breaks a tackle at the 40, down to the 35. Lowers his head and ran out of bounds at about the 20. Oh, they're going to mark him out way back up to the 32, they say now.
And look who's on the ground over there having trouble getting
McFeeder's a little slow getting up after that play. Had to run down Mason. Nice fake around the end to Eberhardt that time and gave it to Garrett up the middle, and he found some running room.
And he put on the afterburners. He's got deceptive speed. He gets down to the 32-yard line, by far his biggest carry in a while. That goes as a 32-yard gain. And McFeeder's, he's been their offense. If he starts getting run down, that's a big thing for us.
Eberhardt in motion. They're going to toss it to him. Now we got a flag, and they stop the play. Evidently, we got a false start on the Miners here. Dead ball, false start, so that'll back us up 5 yards, and we can't afford to have these kind of penalties. I don't know how many. Is that our 2nd or 3rd?
Yeah.
We had a face mask earlier. We've had a couple of false starts. Yeah, so, I don't think they've got a penalty
yet.
They
have no penalties. And I know people get tired of us whenever we're ahead 7-0 lamenting about a penalty, but these are the games where a penalty. That's five yards, although it's 1st and 10.
Yeah.
1st and 15.
1st and 15. They haven't moved the marker yet, so 1st and 15. Ball marked at the 37-yard line, rather. In motion is Jackson. They fake it to him. Muir going to roll out to the left, has protection, fires it over the middle, but missed the receiver. A little bit of pressure on him back there. He did have a blocker back there with him. I believe that was 66. Or no, not 66 isn't a number for us.
Probably Walker 52. Okay. 55 is what you're seeing.
55, not 66, okay. So it'll be second and 10.
Good number 22 was able to get back there and put the pressure. Figley was open. Eberhardt was wide open on the backside, but not a lot of time that time.
Second and 15, rather, after that penalty on the first play. The Miners come back and line up. They put Eberhardt out in the slot to the left side along with Clothier out wide. Muir takes the snap. It's on the ground. He picks it up back at about the 41. And he needs to go down with it in that scenario. Just take the loss, and it'll be 4 more yards backwards for the Miners, and that's the first snap issue we've seen in a while. And it's very costly because that's going to bring up a 3rd and forever.
Well, what we saw, Darren, is a false start penalty, put us back 5, and then I don't know that the snap was bad if Tyler just wasn't ready for it.
Took his eye off of it, so it's going to be 3rd down and about 19 here. They bring Clothier to the near side along with Pierce Jackson. They keep Eberhardt in the slot on the near side as well, with Mason joining Muir out of the shotgun. In motion is Eberhardt. They fake it to him. They roll out to the right side. Tyler fires it, has an open man. It's caught down at about the 20-yard line.
Clothier, number 18.
Nice catch. Should be a first down for the Miners. They set it down at the 21. I think they had to get to the 22. What a route by Clothier. Got it right where he needed to be, set himself up there, and Tyler put it right in there.
What a conversion. 3rd and 19, folks.
And they get 20. That is huge.
Tyler running to the right side, had Big Dylan Morris in front of him. Clothier showing senior knowledge, goes
right
exactly
to the first down marker. Just beautifully executed. Now they're leaving him out there. Now they snap it again. This time, unbelievable. West Washington this time comes up with it. Tyler pounding the ground with his fist. You don't want to see him do that and hurt himself.
Oh, the Miners are making the mistakes that we
just cannot afford to do that. So West Washington will take over 1st and 10 at the Miner 24, and you just can't continue to shoot yourself in the foot.
Nope, I'm exasperated because the Miners have been able to move the ball, and now we've thrown an interception in the end zone, and now after moving the ball down the field, turn the ball over. That's 2 turnovers for the Miners.
So West Washington takes over here. 1st and 10 at the 24. Back-to-back snaps. Two out of 3 plays there. 3 wide receivers right, 1 to the near. McFeeder's back. They're going to look to throw. They come to the near side. It hits the ground incomplete. So they came back against Keaton Cox to the short side of the field that time.
Well, there was pressure that time from number 33, Garrett Mason. Cox was also out there on the defense. Cox is doing a nice job in at the cornerback position.
Very much so. 7:43 left in the 3rd quarter. Miners still on top by 1, but West Washington has the football back.
They've dodged 2 bullets tonight. The Miners have had
Once again, 2 wide receivers to the near, 1 to the far. McFeeder's in the backfield. They send a runner in motion. They give it to McFeeder's. He's going to be greeted quickly and brought down.
Excellent defense that time. That was number 52, Chance Howard, just a sophomore. That's about 3 tackles now he's made where he gets back there quick, and that sets up
3rd down 11. Actually, a yard loss on the play, so they back him up 1. Nice job by Howard. So another big play for the Miner defense here.
He's made some big plays already, and you see him at the defensive tackle spot. Boy, what a big one for the Miner defense if they could get a 3 and out here.
They got 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 in the slot, 1 out wide. They're going to send another one out far on the right side. McFeeder's with Sizemore in the backfield. And there's the snap. They're going to fake it to McFeeder's, roll out to the near side of the field. They fire it to the receiver. He catches it, and he's going to be wrapped up short of the first down by the Miners at about the 32 or 33-yard line. So it'll be a 4th down and just a couple of yards, maybe even 1 yard.
But if you don't,
do they dare go for it?
If you don't get it, then you've given the Miners the ball. It's at the 33-yard line.
33-yard line, 4th down and a long 1.
Oh, they look like they're going.
Sizemore is
right
now. They're in go for it. Yeah, they're going to try to draw us off here. Their play clock's still at 20. They got a lot of time to decide. This could be a huge play in this football game.
Very well could be. Big play, and an awful lot of stones being shown by Coach Bousman. If they do
indeed wide receiver out far, they got their 2 backs with the quarterback. The Miners cannot jump here. And now, their back moved. Yeah, the back moved, so it's going to be a false start.
That's a big play for them.
That's going to back it up 5 yards, and now I'm sure they'll bring out the punting unit. Coach not happy as McFeeters that time kind of moved his shoulders and got the false start call, so they'll back it up to the 28-yard line, and now the punting unit comes on. But as you mentioned, Sizemore is the punter, so you still have to be careful. It is 4th down and 7.
Whoo, boy, I tell you what. I cannot believe they were going to go for that. I mean,
it looked, they snapped the ball. I mean, it wasn't just trying to draw us off. So
that pistol full house is what they call that. It looks almost like the old I formation, but the quarterback's in the middle with the back behind him. So here comes the punt.
Sizemore takes the snap, pressure up the middle. He gets the punt away, comes to the near side, bounces at about the 38-yard line, heads up field, and is going to stop rolling at the 31, and that's where the Miners will take over. 1st and 10. So with 5:43 left in the third quarter on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, the Miners on top 14-13. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Highcom. Here's a reminder from Highcom Security Services in Lyons. Protecting your home, your business, your family, and your property is as easy as calling Highcom. Highcom offers cutting-edge technology, affordability, and service by local people you know and trust. Call sales manager Derek McKee to find out more. 800-819-8141 or online. It's callhighcom.com. Miners have Eberhardt in motion. They give him the ball going to the left side. Cuts it upfield to the 40, and he's stopped right there. Going to pick up the first down before he's brought down. Nice hard running by Mitch Eberhardt.
Good hard stick as well by 23 Hunter Holiday, a junior, but you like seeing us be able to get outside, as Shane talked about, the side of the field that Figley's on, and Miller comes in for Figley now, but nice blocking by Figley.
So 1st and 10 for the Miners at their own 42-yard line.
That is 63 yards for the Miners senior running back, and so far the game, the only mistake West Washington was that false start that cost them 5 yards. The Miners have had a couple of mistakes already.
Up the middle to Mason to the left side, breaks it at the 50, down near the 45-yard line. And Garrett Mason picks up another first down with some good hard running.
Well, I'm beginning to understand why West Washington went for it, because the Miner offense is only killing the Miner offense right now.
Very much so. They've really not stopped us on their own. One punt. The other times we've turned it over have been on turnovers. So 1st and 10 at the West Washington 45 now for the Miners. Clothier stays wide to the left side. Typical set for the Miners here. In motion is Eberhardt. They give it to Jackson coming to the near side on the counter to the 40 to the 35, and there's a holding call.
God almighty.
Boy, oh boy. Whoever that is just looking out at the referee. It's Demo. Just couldn't believe they threw that flag. Demo. Now they're going to back us up 10 yards, and that's also been a problem. Not just the turnovers, but the penalties have been an issue too. So holding on the Miners will back them up 10 yards.
And that he was about at the 42-yard line where the penalty's at.
Yep, so downfield a little bit. So the ball goes back to the Miner 48. So a few yard pickup, about 3 yards for Pierce there. Coach Oliver throwing his hands up at the official over there. I can see him on the far sideline. He is not happy with the officiating crew.
Well, it's cost us. They have one penalty. That ball back at the 48-yard line of Linton.
They're going to give it to Eberhardt, going to the left side. Going to be tackled at midfield. Just gets a couple of yards back.
Watson 54. Now Packwood, number 33, is getting up very slow.
So it'll be 2nd down and about 15 for the Miners here.
He gets up, but he's
hobbling a little bit, yes.
I can't tell if that is 33.
5'11", 159 is Packwood, just a sophomore.
3 of 5 on 3rd down are the Miners. They've been pretty
to the
good.
near side, press coverage, a quick snap. Now they give it to Jackson, coming up, cuts it up at the 45, gets it down to the 40, out to the 38-yard line. Going to be about 3 yards short of the first down, so it'll be a big 3rd down play now for the Miners.
Oh, that was just 2nd down then.
Yes, so Pierce takes it to the 38.
Well, that was a nice play by the Miner Singer. He's got a motor.
So 3rd down and 3, so a big play here. I don't know, once again, I'd probably punt if we don't get it. Hopefully we're able to pick up the yards we need here. In motion is Pierce. They give it up the middle to Garrett. He's going to get right to it. Now they throw another flag. Are you kidding me? Boy, oh boy. That's going to be another hold. This time it's the umpire behind the defense that throws that one in there at the 41.
Man, oh man, we're getting more penalties. They're going to call
personal foul chop block on the Miners. So that'll back it up. The flag sits at the 39-yard line. Garrett they actually have him marked short of the first down.
Oh, we would have went for it at 4th and an inch.
Absolutely.
Boy, I don't know what.
Wow. A little home cooking maybe. I don't know. I don't criticize much, but.
Well, when you have one penalty on an obvious false start, now that ball back to the
all
46.
the way back to the 46 of Linton, so a huge penalty here.
Well, that is 6 penalties for 56 yards against 1 penalty for 5, and the Miners keep answering the call, but
3rd down and this far, I don't know. There's just not many plays in the playbook to cover this. 3:47 left in the 3rd quarter, 14-13. The Miners still on top by 1. 3rd down and 19.
Well, the last time we had this, we had a 3rd down.
We got a 20-yard play out of it, yep. Nice and loud over here on the West Washington side of the field as Muir out of the shotgun, takes the snap, going to keep it himself and runs right into 2 players. He's dragging him forward, gets it just over right at midfield is where they're going to mark it. So Tyler on the quarterback draw picks up 4.
They were ready for that.
And that's going to bring up 4th down and 15, and the punting unit comes on for the Miners. 3:11 and running on the clock here in the 3rd quarter, and the West Washington fans, I mean, they just continue to hang around.
They best be counting them their thankfulness, because that drive again, a holding and a chop block on 2 conversions of 3rd down. Granted, that was going to be short, but we would have
ineligible man downfield.
Oh,
I mean,
huge.
just some questionable, I don't know, just Kendall Williams back to punt. Good snap, a lot of pressure up the middle, gets a nice high snap or a high punt. Going to land and take a sideways bounce, and now a West Washington bounce. It's going to be down at about the 27-yard line by Corbin. So West Washington again will take over, 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. 2:39 left in the 3rd quarter. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Media 5 Connect. Tired of paying a fortune for a website and maintaining a website? Talk to Media 5 Connect about a website that's affordable to create, affordable to maintain, and offers daily updates to keep your internet marketing fresh and current. Call Keith at 887-0159 and let Media 5 Connect unlock the potential for your business online.
Through the end of 3, Pioneer 14, LCC 10.
And now McFeeters falls down.
Got to get him.
And they're going to put him down at about the 25-yard line. He tripped as he was headed to the line of scrimmage to take the handoff there, so he's going to lose a couple of yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 12.
And the thing is, he would have lost the yards because Chance Howard was right there again. That's about his 4th tackle for loss.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Skinner's Towing in Linton, your 24-hour wrecker service and featuring a secured storage facility. Skinner's Towing says, go Miners.
Oh, boy. If this doesn't test the old ticker, Darren, I don't know what does.
No doubt. 2:05 left in the 3rd quarter. Miners cling to a 1-point lead. West Washington with the football. No wide receivers this time. They've got that full house pistol set. There's the snap. They're going to roll out to the right, give it now to McFeeters. He cuts it back to the left, and he's going to be brought down at about the 31-yard line.
A little bit more dedicated that time. Pierce Jackson in there that time along with Garrett Mason, and McFeeters gets up slower and slower and slower.
He's had a lot of carries tonight, so they mark it at about the 32, so a pickup of 7 will make it 3rd down and about 3rd and 6 here.
These 3rd down plays are just big.
This is huge, yes, absolutely. So 3rd and 6.
I got them 2 of 10 on 3rd downs, and perhaps a couple of those were penalties, which I'd have to check. But
time for everybody to stay home and do their job.
That's exactly right.
Try to draw us off. There's the snap. They give it to McFeeters up the middle. He stopped at the 35, going to be about 2 yards short.
Yeah, Pierce Jackson there, along with passing coming in from the cornerback slot. And
last time they elected to go for it, and the penalty kept them from getting that opportunity, and they're keeping the offense out there again this time.
I just don't think they can actually stop the Miners. It's Linton. The penalty. The officials are stopping the Miners right now.
The Miners also with the turnovers and turnovers and penalties are trying to get that crowd pumped up here for this 4th down play, 4th and 2.
Well, here's where if they've got a play in the basket, Darren, is where you pull it out. This
down to 11 on the play clock as they break the huddle. Once again, they're trying to keep that Miner offense off the field. Down to 6 on the play clock. Are they indeed going to go for it? There's the snap. They come to the near side. They give it to McFeeters, and he drives ahead, and he's going to be really close.
He is not going to get it.
Hopefully you get a favorable spot here. I mean,
we haven't got a good spot yet, but boy, it sure doesn't look like he got there.
Hard to tell from across
Tyler
the
Muir,
field. The
Garrett
chains on the
Mason.
far side, the South or the West Washington players think that they have it. They're going to have to measure this, I would think.
Of course, they're going to think they've got it regardless.
Yeah, there's the whistle, so they will bring out the chains. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Bob Switz City. Open every Wednesday through Sunday from 4 till 8 with everyday specials. Buy any 14-inch 3-topping pizza and get a 10-inch 1-topping for just $1.99. Also buy 3 large and get a 4th free at Bob Switz City. Big measurement here.
Come on, let's get this good call this time for us.
You just never know what kind of
you
slack is in that chain over there
You
on the
don't.
far side when it's sitting there. They're going to stretch it
He ain't
out,
got it.
and he's
Nope.
going to be short.
Miner ball.
Miner football. Going to be short by about 3 or 4 inches, and the Miners will take over. Going to be at the 37-yard line of West Washington, and the Miner defense comes up huge.
Huge play on the kid. Had 120 some odd yards at the half, has 130 now. And here's where you got to go for blood, Darren. You've got to shove this ball in.
Dylan Moore is having a conversation with the referee.
He
I'm
wants to
sure
know.
that's about what I do on that holding call, because we talked earlier. I mean, this is an all-state player here, and why he'd be out holding
I
somebody.
think the question they're asking is about the chop block, because you know that
That
rule.
could be. Here we go. Clothier to the near side. In motion is Jackson. Takes the handoff. 35, 30, and plows ahead to about the 28.
And that all-state candidate right there, Dylan Morris, led the way through. Pierce Jackson running the ball hard. Tackle by 24, McFeeters.
Pickup of about 8 on the play. They'll mark it at the 29-yard. Now they're going to mark it at the 28, so it should be a 2nd down and 1 here, and that's going to do it for the third quarter. So at the end of 3 on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, Linton 14, West Washington 13. Back in 60 seconds, this is a Media 5 sports production.
Razor, Ranger, Sportsman, Ace. Get the gift of horsepower during the Polaris Holiday Sales Event. Financing as low as 2.99% and rebates up to $1,500. Ranger XP 900s and Crew 900s come with a free 3-year extended warranty and big cash rebates. Sportsman ATVs come with a free winch. Get these great deals and more during the Polaris Holiday Sales Event.
Washington High School, the Miners have it, and they are 2nd down and 1, and we're right back to action as we come back here at the 28-yard line. In motion is Eberhardt, takes the handoff, cuts it up the middle, has some running room, breaks a tackle, gets it down near the 15-yard line, and another Miner first down.
Yeah, McFeeters is just beat 24. They're having to help him even get up. Nice hard running. Quick score update. The last we heard, North Vermillion was tied with Lutheran 21 all, and LCC has just scored to take a 17-14 lead on Pioneer.
That ball going to be marked down at the 15-yard line, so 1st and 10 for the Miners at the 15. And, Dan, they need a touchdown this time.
Yeah, they've got to get this ball in the end zone.
Waiting for the snap is Muir. Mason in the backfield with him. In motion now is Jackson. They're going to give it up the middle to Garrett. Mason on the run, gets it down near the 5-yard line. May just be short of the first down.
Boy, there was a big, gigantic hole that time. And again, McFeeters has to make the tackle.
They're going to be just short. I believe they're going to mark it at the 6. No, they're going to give him the first down. So it'll be 1st and goal for the Miners at the 5-yard line.
83 yards rushing for Mason, 78 yards rushing for Eberhardt, 102 yards rushing for Jackson.
About time for a Tyler Muir keep here.
Yes, sir.
In motion, Jackson. They give it to Pierce, going to the right side, waits on his blocking, and takes it in for the touchdown. Pierce Jackson, 11-16 left in the fourth quarter, takes it in from 5 yards out, and the Miners extend their lead to 20-13.
And that was a big, big defensive stop by the Miners that gave them the ball at the West Washington 37. And then it just takes 4 plays, 9s, 13, 10, and 5. And the Miners score, and now here we go.
Wilson on for a big extra point. Chance to bump the lead to 8.
Oh, this is really big.
Waits for the snap. It's a little high, ball down, kick up, and good. Wilson knocks it through. and no flag. Imagine that.
Yeah.
So Wilson adds the extra point, gets knocked to the ground. The Miners go on top by 8, 21-13 on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard with 11:16 remaining in the ball game. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Hale Automotive, your automotive repair experts in Linton. From routine jobs to major problems and repairs, Hale Automotive will get the job done right and at a price that'll fit your budget. Hale Automotive, 169 Southeast 6th Street in Linton. Also brought to you in part by Tangle's Styling Salon, Highway 54 in Linton. Trendy, modern, up-to-date styles for the entire family. See Linda Goodman at Tangle's. Go Miners. Well, that's a nice touchdown to add there, Dan, after the big stop by the defense. Puts us on top now by 8. Now
we've been knocking on the door.
Need that defense to come up now here with another stop.
Well, they're going to start running into the situation where the time is an issue. They looks like McFeeters is really kind of getting beat down a little bit, but you can never count him out.
Oh, no, not at all. Wilson gets ready to kick off again here. Trying to look and see where McFeeters is lined up on the kickoff here. I don't see him. That's not him back deep,
It would surprise me that they're not having him on the sideline to catch. He is. He's catching a breath.
We approach the ball. It's a line drive kick up the middle. It gets through the runner's legs, picked up at about the 22, takes it to the left side, finds a little bit of running room out to the 30, near the 35-yard line where West Washington will take over. So McFeeters got a blow on that kickoff instead of being back to return it. And you mentioned he's having to do a lot on both ends of the field. Do we have a flag there? The referees are consulting, so flag on them and backing that up 10 yards would be kind of nice.
I missed that complete play. Who even carried that ball? Or
now they're having a conversation with the Linton sideline, it appears.
Probably the sideline warning.
Might be. So 1st and 10, ball marked at the 34-yard line. So now the Miner defense, can they come up big now that they've extended that to a touchdown lead?
Well, a defensive stop would here be big.
Takes the handoff, stopped in the backfield and dragged to the ground.
There you go. That's Dylan Morris, and that's a lot of excitement from the big senior right there. Starting to smell it a little bit. Big play.
Showing some emotion there as they knock McFeeters back for at least a 2-yard loss, maybe 3. We'll see where they spot it. They'll put it at the 32, so 2nd and 12. 10:45 remaining.
Much better job on this second half, and I can kind of take a look at that. I guess I will in a minute.
Wide receiver to each side, that full house pistol set that they've ran all night long. Sizemore waits for the snap, takes it, going to fake the handoff, coming to the near side, looking for the receiver. Now he's going to tuck it up and keep it himself, and he's brought down at about the 36-yard line, and Dylan Morris.
Yeah, the big defensive tackle downfield makes the play. Sizemore made a good decision there. Didn't try to force that ball. Hats off to number 25, Trey Passon. He was on True Blood, good and hard.
So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 8 now. Once again, the Miner players employing their crowd to make some noise. I do see some milk jugs in the stands on our side, too.
A lot more activity over there.
So a big 3rd and 8 play here. Dylan Morris all the way out to the sideline to make that tackle.
Well, you know, they went for it on the last time 4th down. They're going to go for it here. So big play, Miner defense.
Wide receiver to the near side. That pistol set. They're going to hand it off late to McFeeters. He's up the right sideline and stopped at about the 38-yard line. And once again, Dylan Morris, and he is pumped up.
Well, he's fired up, and he ran from sideline to sideline. He made all 3 tackles on this series. And, boy, as beat as they are they going to punt it? I don't think they are.
39-yard line, and they keep the offense on the field here. 4th down and 6. So they got to get it 6 yards here. Big play for the Miner defense. Another 4th down, go for it.
And this is just a case of Coach Bousman knows their defense
we're
can't
not
stop
stopping
us.
them. Yeah.
Got to watch the pass
3
here.
wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. McFeeters stays in the backfield with Sizemore. Watch him coming out of the backfield for a pass as well, or some kind of screen. They try to draw us. They don't. Pass to the left side, whistle, and I think they took a timeout. So before the snap, West Washington decides to take a timeout. We'll keep it here. 8:55 left on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard. The Miners on top, 21-13. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Goodman Heating and Cooling. Monty Goodman, your local Ream dealer. Call Monty at Goodman Heating for a free estimate. Tonight's game also brought to you in part by Midwest Satellite. If you're looking to reduce your TV bill, call Mike Moore at Midwest Satellite for Dish Network and packages starting at just $19.99 a month. plus free installation, free movie channels, and a free Hopper HD whole home DVR system. Mike will even pay $50 on your first bill. That's Mike Moore at Midwest Satellite in Linton.
Well, LCC now has taken a 10-point lead, so they've start to find a little bit more rhythm, 24-14. But if Pioneer loses that game, they still, most people had that one being a blowout by LCC right off the bat.
Well, if nothing else, they showed these other teams that are still
You were
playing
right.
that you can play with them. There is a way to stay. So 4th down and 6. And now they're going to go into punt formation. The Miners don't have anybody back, and I'd go ahead and just keep everybody out on the receivers. And
you got to figure they're going to roll the dice.
Tyler is going to fall back a little bit here, but he's not going to fall back too far. He's looking at the sideline there. They're going to roll out to the left side, fires the pass, and it is caught. Unbelievable that they let him get that open out there. It's caught at about the 48-yard line. Everybody in the building practically knew that was coming, and he was wide open.
Nice pass by Sizemore, hits Leap right as he makes the break. We talked about Clothier doing that. This time it was Leap, and it's just he got too much yardage. Keaton Cox makes the short tackle, which is good, but that keeps the Senators alive.
1st and 10 at the 48. Big play for West Washington. There's the snap. They're going to give it to McFeeters up the middle, and now he's stopped just over midfield. Better watch out there. A Miner kind of dropped on there late. I could have seen an easy flag there on that one.
The way things are going. Passing comes up from cornerback to make a hit on that. McFeeters, it looked like he had a little bit more life in his legs that time.
Over midfield into Miner territory at the 49. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Can the Miner defense step up again?
They've converted 4th downs, I think, 3 times tonight.
There's the snap. Fake to McFeeters. Roll out to the right side. Receivers are open short. They hit him, and he's hit immediately. Nice tackle.
Well, they got the 1st down, though.
Kendall Williams right there to hit him. It's going to be short of the 1st down by about a yard. So 3rd down and about 1 coming up here.
Isaiah Snyder on that catch, but it was Kendall Williams that put the big hit on him. But
ball at the 43. 7:44 to go. Miners on top by 8.
Well, we don't have to question if they don't get it here. They certainly will, but this is almost you get the feeling this is do or die for West Washington if they can't put this ball in.
This drive here, it could be the ball game. That full house pistol set. There's a snap. McFeeters again up the middle, going to get the 1st down out near the 41-yard line, so he keeps the drive moving. 1st and 10 at the 41.
Didn't have to get too much there. McFeeters carried that ball. T. Pig, 62, and Avery Gentry, 31. And you can almost feel the fans seeping back into the contest now.
Very much so. Tonight's game brought to you in part by McDonald's in Linton, offering all-day breakfast. Stop in before or after the game. McDonald's in Linton, open till 1 a.m.
Boy, if they would not have gotten that 1st down, you just kind of felt like the lights would have gone out at that time.
Very much so. This drive here, I think, they either score here and other things can happen.
Yeah.
But there's the snapper, and they fake it this time. He's going to keep it out to the left side. There's a flag on them, so we finally may catch a break here.
Finally catch a break.
The run gets them down inside the 35 to the 34, and it is a hold on West Washington.
And there wasn't, Keaton Cox makes the tackle, but their guy is.
He was picks up the flag. going to pick up the flag and hand it to the ref. He's like, wait a minute, that's where we're going to mark this off from. So 10 yards from the spot of the foul, and that's going to back them up. The flag was thrown behind the line of scrimmage, so that's going to take them back into their own territory, and the ball will be spotted at the 48-yard line. So the Miners finally catch a little bit of a break there. Not a little bit, a big break. It's going to bring up a 1st down rather and long.
It looked like Tyler was the one who got held. He'd be blitzed in from that defensive, his safety position, which he's done quite a bit.
Miners have to take advantage now. It's 1st down and long.
Yeah. Then this is where McFeeters gaining 5 or 6 yards. You'll let him do that because they're going to eat a lot of the clock out. But
just can't let him gain a bunch. Got to stay on your men if you're the cornerbacks. Wide receiver out far to the left.
Kid out there.
And a receiver to the near side. 3-back set. They're going to look to pass. They throw it out to McFeeters. It's incomplete. They tried to just hit him out in the flat there. And it's incomplete. It'll bring up 2nd down and long.
And you got to wonder just a little bit of just being a little worn out. He didn't quite extend out for that because that play looked like it was there. Zach Figley was out there, but he would have been behind the play.
2nd down, 21 for West Washington. 6:32 on the clock now as it starts to come into play. Wide receivers to each side, that three-back set with the quarterback. Takes the snap, going to look to throw again. Pump fake, they got the old hitch and go down a sideline and almost picked off.
What a great play by Trey Passon.
Trey Passon nearly intercepted that ball. Great defense. Going to bring up a 3rd and 21. They ran the old fake and go.
Yeah, that, I got to admit, when the season started and I saw Trey Passon starting at cornerback, and a lot of the time Trey Passon's going to be out there by himself, one-on-one, you're thinking, God, a first-year guy out there. He's not a big kid, but, boy, he has been stellar all season long right there. I mean, True Blood has to break that up or Passon's got that picked off.
Very much so.
And he's done that many times this year. Great job by the junior.
3 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. McFeeder's the lone back this time on 3rd down and 21. They may try a quick pass.
Yeah.
They're going to look to throw over the middle and incomplete. Threw it behind him, and if he'd have caught it, Tyler Muir would have put a tag on him.
Yeah, can't help it. He might not have saw that. The ball was behind him. Tyler was eyeballing it.
Do they go for it on 4th and 21?
Well, they got a long way to go here.
I think they're going to send the punt unit out here this time around.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine on 4th and 21. It's one thing on 4th and 3 or 4, but 4th and 21 is quite a ways to try to get. So they do have the punting unit, but once again, got to stay awake. We found that out last time.
Well, this is a little tougher because we can let you have 10 or so yards.
Absolutely. 6:23 on the clock. It is stopped. So Sizemore back to punt. Muir back deep to receive, and I don't think this ball will be anywhere near him as he sneaks up a little bit. There's the punt. Line drive, middle of the field. Tyler does field it at about the 25 and his knees down. It kind of short-hopped him a little bit there. He wasn't sure if he wanted to field it or not, and his knee ends up being on the ground. So the Miners will take over 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line, take care of the football, move it down the field a little bit, eat up that 6 minutes and 17 seconds, and get yourself a regional championship.
And a hard-fought regional championship at that.
Very much so. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Gene Hall and Gordon Wright at Farm Bureau Insurance. Call your friends at Farm Bureau Insurance, Becky, Erica, Gene, or Gordon. Go Miners from Farm Bureau Insurance, serving the Linton area for over 40 years.
Here's also, Darren, where you've got to realize they're going to go for the ball.
Yep, got to double skin that thing and hold on to it, much like Garrett Mason does when he carries it. Handoff comes to Eberhardt, near side, out to the 30, and he's going to be stopped at about the 31-yard line.
Boy, I had the field glasses on that, and I'm telling you, everybody out there was grabbing for the ball.
Going to pick up 5, make it 2nd down and 5. Miners need to use that play clock themselves now instead of that hurry-up, I think. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Sportsman's Pub on Main Street in Linton, offering steaks, seafood, and salads. Dine in or carry out at Sportsman's Pub in downtown Linton.
Taking their sweet time. That 5:45 is at the clock.
Clothier to the far side. In motion's Jackson. They give it to him. Cuts upfield at the 30. Gets it to the 35, and he's hammered there short of the 1st down.
Big hit again, and this guy's not going to get up. That's
a West Washington player who's slow to get up, pounding his fist on the ground.
Holiday, number 23, is the one doing that.
So they mark it at the 35. It'll be short of the 1st down. A big 3rd down play now for the Miners. 3rd and 1. You don't want to give it right back to them here.
No, you don't. I mean, the game is not over. It's an 8-point game. Fans on both sides are cheering hard.
How about a fake to Mason and roll Tyler out this way?
Yeah, we haven't seen Tyler keep
Garrett's going to take it, and he's in it. They threw him ahead for the 1st down. So they had him about the line of scrimmage. It probably would have been give or take, and they flung him forward, helped him out a little bit with the tackle, and the Miners have that big 1st down, just under 5 minutes on the clock.
Mason just twirled and twisted forward and got that 1st down. Mason with 86 yards rushing. This is one of those games where the trip, the four-headed monster has shown his force. I mean, Muir doesn't have necessarily the big numbers, but he has 34 yards. Everybody else with 80 or more.
4:50 and counting on the scoreboard. Jackson going to take the handoff, going to the right side behind Demo. Cuts it up to the 45, the 50, back to the 45, breaks a tackle to the 40.
Yes!
Still on his feet to the 35, the 30, and he's going to score. Pierce Jackson from the 38-yard line, a 62-yard run. 4:33 remaining, and I don't see any hankies on the field.
62 yards, that gives him 173, and he broke about 3 or 4 more tackles, made some great cuts downfield blocking, and that might be the nail to the coffin. It's still 4:33 to go in the contest, but that is a game-changing play right there.
Wilson on for the extra point. The Miners on top, 27-13 now. Awaiting the snap for the extra point. A little high, ball down, kick up, and it was close to the left side, but it's good. So Wilson adds another extra point, and with 4:33 left in the fourth quarter on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, the Miners go on top 28-13. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is a Media 5 Sports production.
Still, you got 4:33 to go, and Jackson has just had a heck of a ball game.
He really has, and then Wilson gets ready to kick off again here. Approaches the ball, gives it a kick, a low line drive, bounces right into the Senator player at about the 35. It's still loose. Now it's picked up, and he's going to be brought down backwards.
Oh, man.
Yeah, host of Miners there to bring him down and see where they spot it.
The guy that's getting up with the ball is number 3, Leap. Like you say, the initial guy tried to jump on it, and it didn't squirt it out.
All the way back to the 30-yard line. That's where West Washington will take over. Just no big plays now. Just make them use that clock if they're going to move it down the field.
Well, they're at the point now they genuinely cannot.
Probably going to have to look to throw the football.
Yeah.
So now the Miner pass defense and now that pass rush. Let's see if Emo can get that pressure on Sizemore here. Ball 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. They look to the sideline for their play.
Looking down there, I see Demo, and I imagine that's Chance Howard down there.
Chad Trent looks like he may be coming off that left edge. And right up the middle, pressure immediately. Quarterback Sizemore rolls out, fires the pass. It's well short of the intended receiver out there for Lane Trueblood, and about 5 yards out in front of him.
Yeah, would have almost thought Sizemore would have kept that one, but the pressure was exuded out there. It looks like Figley, number 5, was one of them that got in there.
2nd and 10, 4:21, and stopped is the clock.
5 of 15 passing just for 45 yards is all the Senators have been able to do on that. The story of the second half really has been the Miner defense on McFeeters.
Very much so. Chad Trent again comes to the near side. They've got Passon and Kendall Williams covering the wide receivers out here. Tyler, I guess, is going to cover that guy in the short slot area, and they're going to throw him a quick pass. Tyler right there and hammer. He didn't really hammer him, but the ball got knocked up in the air. Kendall Williams may have had a slight chance to pick that off, but another incomplete, going to make it 3rd and 10 here.
Well, I think that's a case of smart play by Muir. Last week he got the penalty. I think it was Perry Central. He got the penalty where he hit the guy after the ball was by him, but held up that time, but you got to feel number 1 would have been popped pretty hard and he caught it.
3rd down and 10, 4:17 and stopped on the clock. Miners show pressure. Now they back out of it, going to keep it up the middle. Sizemore going to be tackled at about ball loose.
Ball is out.
Players piling on, and we'll see. Some of the Miner players, teams always think they have it. They don't know at the bottom of that pile what's down there.
A lot of white jerseys. Pierce Jackson down there trying to get I see 8. I see 78. There's no Senator
Demo
players
doesn't
there.
have the ball. Let's see what we end up with. And it's going to be 4th down for West Washington. The clock at 4:11, and trying to figure now they got to get that clock wound.
McFeeters looks like he's the one that made that recovery, but that would go down for Sizemore, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think he kept it. I think that was just a keep, wasn't it? Quarterback draw. So 4th and 10 now. If the Miners can make a stand here, Dan, I'd like to think it'll be headed to next week. Big play, though. Still got to make the stop. 3:52 and counting. 3 wide receivers to the near side, and they're letting that time run off there. 14 seconds on the play clock. They're not in any hurry at all to run the play here.
They're not. kind of surprising.
Pierce Jackson looking at the sideline, waving frantically. There's the snap. Going to look to throw over the middle, and it's going to be a pass
flag.
Interference. Yeah, surely it'll be a flag on that.
No,
they
not.
don't throw it. Wow. A lot of contact as the ball was coming, and no flag.
We were both ready to concede that one.
I just thought for sure we'd see one there, and the Miners take over 1st and 10 at the West Washington 30, and barring just some kind of a crazy finish to this football game, should advance next week to play again.
And really, this was a great game for the Miners to have to play and to win. Just the effort they had to do to withstand those penalties and their own mistakes that they made.
3:32 left as they take over. Take care of that football. Clothier to the near side. In motion is Eberhardt. He takes the handoff, gets behind the blockers. 25-20, 15, 10, 5, and tackled just short of the end zone, right around the 5-yard line. Looked like Mitch was going to put another one in there.
Well, I thought he was going in, and Leap somehow was able to get back here and save it. You got to admire that, the guy not saying die.
So 1st and goal for the Miners down at the 5 or 6 yard line down there. And let's give credit to the Miner conditioning. I think we really wore out this West Washington team, much like we did Speedway at the beginning of the season. Just very similar situation to what we saw there. And then just kudos to the conditioning of these kids.
That has to be what it is, just wearing them out because.
And also let's go kudos to like Keaton Cox, who came in and spelled Mitch Eberhardt, let him and did a nice job on defense as we wait for the snap here in motion, hand it off again to Eberhardt up the middle. And touchdown for Mitch. So Eberhardt in from 5 or 6 yards out. They call it 6 on the scoreboard. I don't know what you have. We'll make it 6. So a 6-yard run for Eberhardt.
I had 6 because it's what it said on the board. But
so 2:56 remaining. The Miners tack on another one here. Eberhardt from 6 yards out.
And he went in that time with some serious force. He leveled the defensive back.
34-13, and this has turned into a game that's much.
The score is
not indicative of how hard fought this game has been, as Wilson lines up for the extra point. And the kick is up, and going to be another good one for Luke. So with 2:56 left in the fourth quarter on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, the Miners go on top 35-13 back in 30 seconds. This is a Media 5 Sports production.
This was a good.
Now we got a penalty
contest.
after the play. I didn't see him call that unsportsmanlike, evidently, on West Washington. So Luke Wilson will tee it up at the 45. I'd like to see Luke just bash this one into the end zone.
That'd be good for him.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Skinner's Towing in Linton, your 24-hour wrecker service, and featuring a secured storage facility. Skinner's Towing says, go Miners.
Yeah, it's at the West Washington 45, and just this cut. Of course, those are the ones. Perry Central, the guy returned that almost for a touchdown, so maybe you don't alter it.
There's the kick. It's high. It's deep. It's going to be fielded at about the 5-yard line. Up the middle running, has the wedge, nearly falls down out now to the 20, and just over the 20, brought down around the 22-yard line where West Washington will take over.
Nice kick, looked like Holiday, number 23. We see Kendall Williams getting out of there. Nice job by the kickoff team tonight. A lot of talk over the week.
There really was. There was a lot of people wondering about our kickoff team, and they've had some decent field position at times tonight, but overall they've really done a nice job.
Well, that decent field position was more because we squib kicked. This time you see a guy like Ian Fonseca out there making the tackle along with Kendall Williams. Those are two defensive starters.
1st and 10, West Washington on the 21-yard line as they look over to the sideline to get the play.
It's got to be a tough time for a West Washington senior.
Absolutely. I mean, you just know the last 248 of your career here, the handoff going to go to a different back this time. So Snyder takes the handoff and going to get it out to near the 25-yard line, going to bring up 2nd down and about 7.
Wrapped up by Garrett Mason from defensive end, and Boy, what a tough one. Now we just got to wait to see what's going on with that Lutheran North Vermilion score.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure would be nice to be playing in Linton next week.
It would. I mean, sometimes you got to watch what you wish for. I mean, the fact we beat North Vermilion and we're familiar with them is one thing, and you know you'd like to play at home, but you take whatever you can get. McFeeder's going to get another handoff up the middle and fights ahead to about the 30.
Hard-fought run by this kid. He definitely has been the best back we've seen all year, no doubt about it. Dylan Morris is going to make that tackle.
And that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 1. He's just short of the first down marker. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Shields Hardware in Linton, featuring the area's largest selection of electrical needs, hardware, and plumbing supplies, as well as paint and paint supplies. Shields Hardware says, go Miners.
You look down at these guys. Now, the thing is, McFeeder's is a junior. McFeeder's is 16 years old and a junior, just now.
Sizemore just a junior back next year. How about that offensive line? I haven't looked to see what they are.
A couple of them are seniors.
McFeeder's takes it again up the middle and going to pick up the first down out over the 30 to the 31. I don't know. The first down marker's at about the 31, so this may be close.
Could be close, but
I don't think they'll measure this. I think they'll try to figure it out. They give it to them. They're going to bring the chains out with minute 28 to go in a 35-13 game. They're going to give them that first down.
Try to look at this real quick. I've got it right here. The seniors on their line, 2 of them, the tackle and the center are seniors. So they got a sophomore, 3 seniors on that line. So they'll have to do some work there, and they lose 2 of their biggest receivers, number 3 and number 4. So they'll have some guy, but boy, when you got the quarterback back and that running back back.
Very much so. Sizemore takes the snap, comes to the near side, gives it late to McFeeder's, and he's going to be stopped short of the 35-yard line. Down to a minute 4 on the clock, and the Miners help him up off the ground. And Pierce Jackson there to pick him up. Ball out to the 34-yard line. We're just kind of running out the clock here, down under a minute to go. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Baszler's Market in Linton, featuring great weekly grocery specials and a wonderful selection of produce. Baszler's proudly supports the Linton Miners. Nice hand from the West Washington crowd as one of the seniors comes off the field here and gets a hug from the coach.
That is McFeeder's, I think.
Handoff going to come to the right side and going to be stopped there. Now don't need any extracurricular. And that ball carrier there is number 2, I believe. No, not 2. It's 3. So that's Derek Leap on the carry.
Leap, and I believe Chance Howard was the guy that got there. And the Miner fans on their feet, jumping up and down. The cheerleaders jumping up and down. A nice showing by Miner fans for this long drive. And wherever we are next week, we want to have that huge support.
Absolutely. Another handoff and going to be stopped at the 36-yard line, and that's going to do it. Once again, that's Leap. The final score on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, it's Linton 35, West Washington 13. Congratulations to Coach Oliver and the Linton Miners winning the regional championship. They'll advance to next week's semi-state, another opportunity to take that big step. And we're going to take a 2-minute break and come back with the post-game show. You're listening to Linton Miner Football on QD 93.3, produced by Media 5 Sports.
Ranger, Sportsman, Ace. Get the gift of horsepower during the Polaris Holiday Sales Event. Take home the 144 horsepower Razor XP Turbo and get a free 1-year powertrain warranty. And check out the ultimate single-seater, the 60 horsepower Ace 900. Financing as low as 2.99% and rebates up to $1,500. Going on now.
Yo! Delicious frozen yogurt in Linton is the perfect destination for a cool, good-for-you treat. Come try some of our amazing flavors. Then top off the flavor of your choice with over 40 different toppings to choose from. New flavors added weekly. Stop by downtown Linton today and see why it's yo delicious.
Vaccinations. Call to learn more. Linton Pharmacy, a proud Miner supporter. See them at lintonrx.com. Also brought to you in part by Sullivan Automotive Group with 7 franchises under one roof. Highway 41 in Sullivan, home of the 6 days a week service department. Well, Dan, the Miner fans able to join the team out on the field here and celebrate this regional championship. And if I'm not mistaken, I got it in my notes somewhere how many that is now. The Miners are playing. This was their 5th straight regional, 13th overall, and this is the 9th win. So it'll be the 9th chance to make that trip we all want to make the Friday after Thanksgiving. It all started back in 1986 with Kaiser and Slay and Kurt Bedwell and Brent Sparks and that bunch, and it's continued on, and we've had, like I said, this will be the 9th opportunity we've had to take that next step.
And it's been a story of just in a matter of inches. And, of course, last year it was a tough one with North Vermillion, and Eastern Hancock kind of put us to us, had a lot of injuries in that game when we got out there. And
Knightstown, Indianapolis Ritter, Cecina. I mean, just South Putnam that year, and just –
the only time I can remember us just being totally handled was Sheridan came to town the one year. Other than that, they've usually been pretty good contests. We've been in the game and the contest, and I'm waiting to hear anything from North Vermillion. I want to say this. That first half at the half, 125 yards, 26 carries for McFeeters. Second half, 23 yards, 14 carries. He finishes with 148. But the point is, that second half, the Miner defense chalked it up another notch and defended the pass well. And that's the difference in the game. The Miners faced adversity in that third quarter. Penalties, mistakes, able to still come through tonight, and that's going to help us a long way no matter where we go.
Very much so. Kudos to the players and the coaching staff for the adjustments that were made at halftime, because, I mean, it's one thing for the coaches to come up with those, what we're going to do. It's another thing the players to go out and execute that. So kudos to both sides for coming up big, and the kids are excited out on the field. Look at that. There's a full-scale sprint headed down to the end zone.
Don't pull no muscles, my gosh. Don't slip on that mud. This is the part of it that you just thoroughly love, and then on the other side of the thing in the end zone, you just know they.
You do. You feel for those kids on the other side. I mean, we've all been there. Yeah. Anybody that played whatever sport it was, you remember that last go around. Yeah. And I remember mine in basketball. I didn't do it on the football field, but I remember my last basketball game and the feeling leaving the floor for the last time. And
they were in it. This was truly a contest. Really, in the third quarter, you started to get the feeling that the Miner defense had found. We're wearing them down, as you pointed out. I think the conditioning, I think that finally took toll. McFeeters physically looked like he was tired, looked like he was having trouble, kind of getting up on every play, having a little bit of trouble. And that's what made the difference. Finally, we broke through the fourth quarter. Getting that 8-point lead was big, and then you just see us wear it down. And I love the fighting through adversity. I love that we didn't play our best game, Darren. We fumbled the ball. We threw an interception. Think about that. That interception would have put us up before halftime, and then we were driving. I think the fact that Coach Bowsman went for it on fourth down a couple of times deep in their own territory.
I want to thank Shane Rimmel for an update. North Vermillion and Lutheran on top 37-35. North Vermillion snapped the ball out of the end zone for a safety to put Lutheran on top 37-35.
Are you kidding me?
That's in the third quarter still,
gosh,
a lot of time left in that ball game. So thank you, Shane, for that information.
Couldn't have been on purpose then.
No, not at that point.
Well, I don't care who we play. It's going to be a task no matter what. I think there's pluses in each situation. Lutheran, you don't know them. They don't know you. North Vermillion, gosh, you hate to play anybody twice, especially a game like that. But
at home. I mean, that'd be the thing with that game.
I dearly would love to be in Linton on that week and not traveling to Luther. So
yeah, I agree.
For goodness sakes, let's go Falcons.
Well, if you tuned in late to this game, you missed it. These two teams traded punches throughout the whole first half. The first quarter, the Miners got on the board first. 10:24 left. Pierce Jackson, 49 yards out on the Miners' first possession. Wilson added the extra point. They went ahead 7-0. That was the Miners' first punch. Then right back comes West Washington. McFeeters from 1 yard out caps a nice long drive for them. 4:54 left in the quarter. Byrne adds the extra point. It's 7-7. The Miners get it back. They take it right down the field again. Garrett Mason from 12 yards out. Wilson adds the extra point. Miners back on top 14-7. Right back to West Washington. Down the field, McFeeters from 2 yards out. But the extra point is no good.
Yeah.
And the Miners hold on to a 14-13 lead. And after they traded punches there to that point, then it became the defenses that traded punches, and then the Miners also shot themselves in the foot with a turnover.
They got to the 10-yard line, 2nd and 9, and you know, for all purposes, you're expecting us to go in and put it in and maybe finally get above that mark and get ahead of a few points, and then bam, the pass in the corner, nice defensive play by Leap. They intercepted, and you know, no points.
No points. So it's 14-13 at the half, and nobody scored in the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, once again, I think it was the Miner conditioning that took over in the fourth quarter. They scored their first touchdown early in the fourth quarter, 11:16 to go. Pierce Jackson on a 5-yard run. Wilson adds the extra point, 21-13. And then they don't score again until 4:33 left after West Washington had gone for it deep in their own territory, and the Miners capitalized. Actually, that wasn't the case because Pierce Jackson went 62 yards on that run before we scored. So they gave us a couple of opportunities that we didn't take advantage of. But then Pierce goes in from 62 yards out. Wilson adds the extra point, 28-13. And then with 2:56 left, that's when Eberhard took advantage of the short field. He scores from 6. 35-13 the final.
And you talk about those two not take advantage of us. We drove from our own 18 to their 21, had a false start, and then we had 2 snaps that kind of went awry. I'm not sure what they were, but we lose the ball on a fumble at the West Washington 21. The next time we come down, we get a holding call on what was a big play, and then we get a chop block on a 3rd down play that was a big play, and then we have to punt the ball from the 50-yard line. So those are 2 drives right there in a row that really penalties and some snap situations cost us a lot in the 2 drives.
Very much so. The players, you see them down there being interviewed by TV crews and all
that.
What a great time for the players. It'd be nice to have that live mic and down there in the middle of it. I know you enjoy getting those interviews out on the field because it's nice to capture that raw emotion while those kids are so jubilant down there. And it's hard for them to come up here and talk to us.
Yeah, it is.
You really miss out on that. I mean, I know whenever I'm doing the basketball games at the sectional championship and get the opportunity to talk to those kids, and boy, West Washington must be a tradition here at West Washington.
They did this 4 years ago.
They gather the seniors and their parents and the coaching, the head coach anyway, and they're walking out hand in hand to midfield. And
yeah, that's awesome.
That is really.
It's poignant. I mean, look at everybody.
Everybody stopped to watch and
kind of chokes you.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, me too. I'm sitting here the same way. It's really touching. So. Matter of fact, while they're doing that, we do have a little bit more ads to clean up back, so we'll take our last 2-minute break. You're listening to Linton Miner Football on QD 93.3, produced by Media 5 Sports.
Razor, Ranger, Sportsman, Ace. Get the gift of horsepower during the Polaris Holiday Sales Event. Take home the 144 horsepower Razor XP Turbo and get a free 1-year powertrain warranty. And check out the ultimate single-seater, the 60 horsepower Ace 900. Financing as low as 2.99% and rebates up to $1,500. Going on now.
High School, where tonight's postgame show is brought to you in part by Welch and Cornett Funeral Homes, congratulating the Miners on another great season, and good luck in the tournament, which will advance to next week. If you're just tuning in, the Miners victorious tonight, 35-13 over West Washington. Postgame show also brought to you in part by Eugene Martin, Public Accountant in Linton. Gene says, best of luck, Miners. We're backing you as always. And also brought to you in part by Key Associates of Linton and Connie Puckett, located on Main Street, a proud sponsor of the Linton Miners. Key Associates backing the Miners all the way. Well, Dan, we wait on Coach Oliver to come up here.
We could have a wait this time. I tried to tell him how to get up here, but I didn't want to be so advanced to say after the game. But that'll give me a chance to let you know the Miners tonight, again, outstanding job offensively, 406 yards of rushing. That's outstanding. And then the leader was Pierce Jackson, 12 carries, 173 yards, 3 touchdowns, 113 yards on 11 from Mitch Eberhardt. This may be the third game in a row we've got 2 guys over 100 yards. Great effort. Garrett Mason, some big blue mule runs on the inside. 10 carries, 86 yards, a touchdown. And Tyler Muir, 8 for 34 yards rushing. And he had a couple of big third down conversions running that backfield. So those 4 guys, the 4-headed monster, right there we go. 406 yards, 9.9 per carry. Not much in the passing department tonight. 1 out of 3 is all it was, and that one play was big. It was a 20-yard third down conversion to Clothier. So the passing game not really on top tonight, but then again didn't necessarily need it. The defensive job, of course, we were talking about it at halftime. What are we going to do to stop Landon McFeeters? He finishes with 40 carries tonight, 148 yards, but 125 of that was at the halftime. So he has a 3.7 carry average. That's not going to really be super duper impressive, and it is 170 yards rushing for the Senators. They passed the ball 17 times for 5 completions, just 45 yards on that. So overall, 215 yards. Darren's got the updates, looks like.
Touchdown, North Vermillion, less than a minute to go in the third quarter.
Ooh, all right. Are you leaving? I might see you tomorrow.
And we're joined by Coach Oliver.
He's looking for pizza or something.
there's some potato chips and candy. There's drinks there, absolutely.
I'll hold that for you if you want to get a drink. So that game's coming down the wire up there. North Vermillion now takes the lead with under a minute to go
in the third quarter. Under a minute to go in the third quarter, 42-35.
A lot of offense.
Or 42-37.
Not much defense happening. Coach, gosh, you have got to be loving the way your Miners fought through adversity tonight.
Oh, I am. That first half was a great ball game for the fans, and our kids knew we were making little mistakes here and there, missed tackles, misalignments, penalties, turnovers, but we regrouped at halftime. We made some adjustments defense. We had our guys, defensive tackles, playing a different position, some different techniques. But for the most part, we played a lot more intensity and passion in that second half, and we was just able to keep rolling down the field and got some stops on defense, and that was huge for us.
You gotta admire this Landon McFeeters. Runs the ball hard, like you say, north and south, and just a big challenge for us. He had 120-something at the half, 125 yards at the half. Second half, he has 14 carries for 23 yards. So your defense does the job. Darren, I think, brought up a great point. Conditioning, again, I think this shows the Miners' conditioning, because I do think McFeeters towards the end was really struggling to keep that energy level up.
Well, that's the thing. With their size, we knew that we wanted to get them guys running a little bit. And they had those long drives, and I had to take a little bit out of them. You can see the running back was struggling a little bit here and there. We seen that, so we – just like go back to week 1, Speedway.
Yeah.
We were telling the kids, hey, this is what we're looking at here. So we knew we were okay. We just had to execute a little bit better. And our defensive tackles, we got them a little lower, and Coach Laurie and Coach Nick got them in a different technique, and where those big guys couldn't get up to our inside linebackers, and that was huge for us. But the big thing, intensity and passion, was the big key for us in the second half.
Chance Howard called his name probably 4 or 5 times making tackles in the backfield. His speed, certainly, and he's just a sophomore. What can you say about his effort?
Well, you look at a kid like that size battling against 300-pound guys. I mean, that takes a lot of guts. And I told the kids that we got a lot of grit in this team, and he's one of those kids that's got great grit. And he just goes in there and he just keeps playing hard, and He caused a lot of chaos every now and then. He's going to get driven off, but for the most part, he's going to win that battle with his speed and his heart.
You offensively really able to move the ball all night. The only times that we were hurt was our own mistakes probably. We had
we shot ourselves in the foot,
an interception.
Penalties.
So it gives you something. I mean, the penalties kind of killed us there in a row, but how do kids keep the momentum up after like the interception towards the end of the first half and during this third quarter where we seemed like we were just on the fringe of being able to get down and get an 8-point lead? Was it leadership of that, or is it just a calm motivation?
Our kids have been in this situation before.
Right.
And this is a well-veteran team. So we knew, hey, we're making mistakes. We still got the lead. Let's keep battling. We're not giving in just because we're making mistakes. We've been in this situation before this year and the years in the past. I mean, we got great leadership out there, great senior leadership, and even a lot of those juniors. We knew what to do, okay? All right, we made mistakes. Forget about it. In football and anything really in life, you got to have a short-term memory. We make a mistake, move on.
Well, it's a very good point, because I wondered after the back-to-back, the fumble, and then that these are the same kids basically on both sides of the ball. They got to keep themselves up. What can you say about Pierce Jackson? 173 yards this week, 162 last week, runs the ball hard, Singer. Does his motor ever shut down?
Oh, absolutely not. He's a two-way player. And you look at all those yards. He's inside linebacker. I mean, he's the kind of kid I love having on this team.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's a typical Linton minor
exactly
player.
What I was getting ready to say. He's a minor football kid, and you can tell the way he plays this game with so much passion. And that's what, when he plays like that, the rest of the team feeds off of it. You can tell he's a senior. He's not wanting his season to end. He's going out there and giving his all. And that's all we ever ask the kids. Go out there and give it your best and leave it on the field. And he was able to do that tonight, offensively and defensively. I couldn't ask for a better effort out of Pierce tonight.
I know the drive didn't end up turning out the way you wanted. Well, eventually it did, but the 3 plays before they faked the punt, Dylan Morris makes all 3 tackles, 2 of them on the far sideline, and he gets up jacked. And Dylan's usually pretty even keeled from what I can tell from up here. I mean, kudos to him as well, and what he does blocking for the running backs, and those 3 defensive plays just really stood out to me tonight. I mean, 3 straight tackles, 2 of them on the opposite sideline.
And Keaton Cox, you bring him in on the quarterback spot. And was that just to kind of spell Eberhard a little bit to give him some more?
He got hurt. Well, I wouldn't say hurt. He got bruised, whatever, tweaked something, and then so we took him out. You know what? Let's just keep Keaton in there. Keaton's doing a good job. We'll rest Mitch for that. And then Mitch has those long runs, and he trucks that kid going to the end zone. I said, Mitch, that's it. You're playing offense all the way from now on. If you run the ball like that, you're on offense all the time. I've been waiting for that all year for him to run that ball like that. And he came out of his shell in that second half.
He went in with a little bit of extra force that time. Yes. Coach, as we go into next week, what does this take with you? The fact that they worked through this adversity and stuck to it. And this was a heck of a running back, honestly. I mean, he ran the ball with force, and we had our work cut out. And it's got to make you feel good rather than coming in and maybe winning 62-0. You were in a game for 4 quarters tonight.
Well, that's the key. I mean, I think a little bit we were, I would say, lackadaisical. We wasn't our typical selves in the first half. And now maybe we didn't have great focus throughout the week, although we had good practices, but it didn't carry over to here. And now we're just trying to – I think the kids will be, hey, you know what, this might be a wake-up call for them.
I think so too.
And so now they're going to be ready to play. I told them down there on the field, I said, hey, come Monday, whatever we're playing, whether it's Norfolk Miller or Lutheran, we got a battle. We have to start preparing. There's no more big games. I mean, big blowouts. It's going to be a tight game. Yeah. So they have to be ready to play come practice all next week and be ready to play next Friday.
A lot of respect to the Senators, a great host tonight, and it's tough for them. They've got to be hating seeing Linton because I think this is the 5th time we've knocked them out of the playoffs. But, Coach, huge congratulations to you and the coaching staff.
Couple things. I mean, I want to give a shout-out to all the fans there. I mean, we had a huge crowd tonight.
Excellent.
And I said something last week, and I think a lot of them might have heard or whatever. They responded. This place was packed on both sides. Our crowd was awesome tonight. And that's just awesome.
It makes a huge
It
difference.
does. Our kids were feeding off of that, and they noticed it, and that's awesome. But the biggest thing, I can't do this without my family and my coaches, but most importantly, God has blessed me to put me in this position, and I couldn't do this without him, and I give all the glory to him, and it's just awesome what's going on right now.
Coach, you have an enjoyable night. I know how you guys work. You'll enjoy this for approximately an hour and 55 minutes.
I'm going to enjoy it all the way home. I'll deal with it tomorrow.
That's about the duration. It's only because there's no lights inside the bus. You can't do anything.
I got a cell phone. It's charged.
Well, as soon as we hear about who wins that game, we'll let you know. But it's just a great job with your coaches making the changes that you had to do and getting these kids fired up. And let's just keep the ride going.
Let's keep it going. Big crowd next week, even bigger. Everybody come out. No matter what the weather's like, we're Miner fans. We can tough it all out. Let's go.
Excellent. Congratulations,
Thank you, guys.
Coach.
Appreciate it.
Coach, congratulations. Appreciate you coming up and talking to us. Coach Brian Oliver, the victorious Linton Miners tonight, regional champions, and a chance to advance next week to the semi-state, take on either Indianapolis Lutheran or North Vermilion. We currently have North Vermilion ahead in that game late in the third quarter, so a lot of time left.
Third quarter.
It's hard to believe that that's in just the third
they do
quarter.
take a 2.5 hour.
Well, with all the points being scored, that's a lot of time to kick off and do all that stuff. So
stay on the air till that game's
over.
Yeah,
no kidding. Tonight's game also brought to you in part by Kramer's Tree Service in Linton for all your residential and commercial tree needs, plus stump grinding and free estimates. Good luck, miners, from Kramer's Tree Service. I want to thank all of our sponsors for allowing us to bring you these games on QD 93.3. As we come to the close of tonight's ball game, the players making their way off the field, victorious tonight again, and advancing to that semi-state where we hope to take that one more step. I'd love for you and I to be in the booth at Lucas Oil Stadium on the Friday after Thanksgiving. I can't think of any place I'd rather be than there. And
Castle, Keith's doing that, and they were ahead up there too. But I'm almost speechless. I'm excited for the kids, and I'm excited for the program, and I'm almost giddy because you work so hard to get to this point, and you get to know. You teach in the school, Darren. You see these kids every day, and I know you told me, coming into this game, you were a little concerned.
I was a little concerned. I mean, I got several of the kids in my first hour class, and I thought maybe they were taking this West Washington team just a little bit lighter than they should have, and maybe that's what Coach was talking about in the first half. They made some mistakes, and if it's a wake-up call, then that's a great way to get ones to go ahead and win the football game and realize that next week you better show up from the opening kickoff and be ready to go. And they are a good bunch of kids. I do want to say that as well, that I enjoy the class that I have with some of those guys first hour and getting to spend time with them and know them a little better off the field and in that classroom environment. But we do have to announce tonight's REMC star of the game, so we can kind of talk about that. But I don't know if there's not much to talk about again for the second week in a row.
Yeah, I don't know what you can say. His runs were fantastic. He scores 3 rushing touchdowns and defensively was out there. It's got to go to Pierce Jackson, the senior leader out there. Coach Oliver talked about him as a leader and his emotion, how it makes things happen, and it's just hard not to appreciate his effort. Of course, I could go with just about several other people, but had we lost, McFeeters might have gotten that honor, but I got to go with Pierce Jackson, 173 yards rushing, a 14.4 average. So I can't wait to get down there, and hopefully before we get out of here, we can.
I got another update. 41-37, the 2-point conversion failed on the extra point. 20 seconds left in the third quarter. North Vermilion ahead. So Earl has 5 touchdowns.
Now, Jacob Earl is a handful, and I tell you what, if we are playing North Vermilion, that kid is going to be motivated because that's that's all that's been talked about is how Linton shut him down. And he's a different beast than McFeeters. McFeeters is a beast. He runs that ball north and south. If they could get some sort of other guy to help so you can't key on him all the time, it might help. But, gosh, he had the number that first half, just churning it up the field, 2 13-play drives. And, even the Speedway game. Speedway did not have the long drives. Those were long passes, a punt return. I never felt that Speedway was going to run over us. With North Vermilion, I felt that we did a pretty good job defensively containing them. This is the first time I've seen anybody really kind of shove it right down our throat. But offensively, we finally made the plays, and defensively they did as well.
Well, I want to thank Shane Rimmel for all those updates he's provided throughout the course of the night. And congratulations to Pierce Jackson, tonight's star of the game. And for being named the star of the game, REMC is pleased to donate $50 to the Linton Athletic Department. That's from Utilities District of Western Indiana, REMC, a strong supporter of local and area high school sports. Well, that's going to do it for here at West Washington High School. I want to thank Sarah Dunn back at the station for helping tonight. And for Dan Phillips, I'm Darren Clayton saying good night and have a great day tomorrow.